3 years, the California University Hockey Club has been one of the best-kept secrets on California's campus. Today, the undefeated Vulcan squad will take on Case Western Reserve. Ben Slazak, Josh Eaches, welcome you to Blade Runners Ice Complex here in Bethel Park. The California Vulcan hockey team, 2 years removed from a national championship berth in the tournament. They continue to play great hockey, 3-0 this year.
Yeah, and one of the things that amazes me about this team is, Ben, we covered a couple games last year, and it was a veteran squad. Yeah. They played savvy on the ice, an aggressive team, and this year, 13 of 25 players, freshmen. And you know what? They're all getting done. 2 of the top 3 scorers on this team are freshmen. So this is a young CalU team. They got some new players in here, and they're doing just the same they were last year, picking up where they left off on a great note.
Yeah, before we talk about a couple of those players in the South Division, the California's in 3-0, a good start as they start to get into the heart of their conference season.
Yeah, you know, they are 3-0, and they've beaten the only team that's ahead of them in this conference, which is St. Vincent, who's 4-1. They have 8 points. Cal has 6. Cal just hasn't played as many games, but clearly they can beat the best of the best. You got other teams like Indiana in this region they're tough to contend with, and even Pitt. Cal's taking care of them too. Cal can hold their own in this conference. We should see how the rest of the season plays out, but I'm pretty sure you're going to see the Vulcans at the end of the season on top of this thing.
Yeah, California continues to be one of the best teams in this conference. Let's talk a little bit about some of the players on this Vulcan team. You mentioned some of the youth on the team, but one of their players that have continually been at the top of the scoring charts year in, year out is junior B.J. DePauli.
Oh, I don't think anybody's tired of B.J. DePauli's, let's call him, antics. So far this season, he's got 10 goals, 13 assists, leading the team in 23 points. That's amongst the CHA leaders in points. We'll talk about another guy who's up there on the other side of the squad, but DePauli, you can't say enough about him. He flies down the wing, and I've never seen a player at this level of hockey score breakaway goals like B.J. DePauli does. He does some pretty stuff with the puck.
Yeah, he plays with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder as well. When we take a look at Case Western Reserve, they also have a pretty good player in their own right.
Yeah, Dan Pulowski, just right there with B.J. DePauli. He's got 10 goals and 11 assists. He's second in the CHE in points. Pulowski, we don't know much about him, so we don't get to see him play. I imagine he's a very same type of player as B.J. DePauli. We'll have to see the kind of skill he has tonight. We'll evaluate him as the night goes on, but we know he can put up the numbers just like DePauli can.
The one difference that you'll see as soon as this game starts between the two teams isn't so much the height, the weight, or the skill. It's the size of the two teams. The Vulcans with a full roster, and Case Western, they don't travel a whole lot of people with them.
No, California, like we said, has 25 players. I struggled to count a dozen players on the warm-ups on the ice for Case Western. I know that they have about 10 to 12 guys on their roster. That means you're going to see some tired guys on the ice. Cal plays almost everybody they have, so Cal's definitely going to be the more refreshed team. Fatigue should be an issue as we get into the later part of this game.
Yeah, the College Hockey East rankings actually came out this past week, the first set, and the Vulcans right in the middle of them as we start the season.
Yeah, California's at number 5 right now, and if you ask me, it's a bit unfair. I think California deserves to be a little closer to the top. IUP right there at number 1. You've got some other CHE teams towards the top there, namely the newcomer to the squad, Robert Morris, is up there. We'll see them a little bit later on this season. But Cal at number 5, and I think they're going to climb the ranks very rapidly, especially with those impressive wins they've been picking up. And they've even jumped a couple spots after those big wins early on this season.
Vulcans 3-0. Josh, are scoring a ton of goals. Do you see any difference why that would change tonight against Case Western?
No, I don't. Cal, we watched them play last year. They are so aggressive on the forecheck. It's not funny. I promised you I'd say forecheck, and there we go. They get into the offensive zone, and they attack very quickly. If Case Western can't win the loose pucks, they're going to have a tough time tonight because Cal will throw it to the net, and a lot of Cal's goals will come to those point men, will open up. Another newcomer, Matt Warko. Yeah. He loves to fire it from the point. He's got a couple assists this year. Hello. And he'll fire them at the net, and California will pick up those loose pucks. They're going to run away with this one, Ben.
Warko's a big boy as well. California will hit and hit often. I need you to get Donnybrook in the game later as well. Case Western California College Hockey East action next right here on CUTV.
I'm always amazed at the gimmicks some car dealers come up with. Solomon Ford doesn't use gimmicks, we don't need them. It's simple. At Solomon Ford, we'll beat your best deal every time. That's why Solomon Ford is the smart choice. Do you want the best deal? Then come to Solomon Ford. Let the other guys come up with the gimmicks, bring us their deal, and we'll beat it. Solomon Ford is the smart choice.
QSP. There's only one place where you can find this sign of excellence, this sign of risk-free purchasing, this sign of quality select products. You'll find a QSP symbol on the best of the best brands at Highway Appliance and Television. Our on-site warehouse and service department are also here for your complete satisfaction. Factory-trained technicians and customer service professionals. At Highway, there's more to saving money than just low prices. Highway Appliance and Television, Route 88 in Dunleavy.
CME Engineering provides a wide range of engineering services to a diverse clientele. We specialize in environmental science surveying and construction management services. And we've assembled a team of professionals to provide our clients with cost-effective designs and concise reports and evaluations. At CME Engineering, we were instrumental in the Cute Creek Mine rescue. CME Engineering, we're committed to the success of our clients.
I'll be ready to go in a minute.
Take your time. A vacuum. You like that, don't you? All right. Thirsty now, ain't you? Little Pepsi. Oh, man. Your vacuum cleaner ate my pants. There's nothing I could do.
Nothing chases chips like a Pepsi. It's the cola.
Welcome back to Blade Runners Hockey Complex here in Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. Getting set for some College Hockey East action. Your California Vulcans, perfect 7-0, 3-0 in the College Hockey East, taking on the Case Western Reserve Spartans. Ben Slazek, Josh Each is with you. Josh, again, not many people familiar with the California hockey team. Past couple years, they've done a lot of good things. They made it to the Elite Eight of the national tournament a couple years ago. One of the most exciting games I've ever seen against Colorado, then in a shootout. And they're picking right up where they left off. They got a good mixture of young and older players. And Case Western, I think, is in for a little bit of a rude awakening.
Yeah, one of the things I regret failing to mention in our open was that California's outscored their opponents by a combined 73-16 this year. That's phenomenal.
California will be in the white jerseys, black trim going left to right on your television set. Case Western in the blue-style jerseys with the white and blue socks. We're underway. California will set up the ice, and skating up is number 5, Bill Repass, current player of the week in the CHE. He'll be on the line with Jeremy Hill and number 16, Anthony Batista.
Watch California play the dump and chase in this one with speed like that. They're going to win a lot of those loose pucks in the offensive zone. And
that's something Case Western can't afford to do. Dump it in, cross, and just let California go back and get, because their speed will eat up who's ever out there. Delayed offsides. There is tag-up offsides and automatic icing out here. Goaltenders for the game for California is number 35, Tim Johnson. A junior Al Dunleavy in the goal for the Spartans, number 1, Rob Walls. Skating up the ice is number 3, Matt Warko, one of those freshmen Josh mentioned in the opening. He's a bigger player, long strides, long stick. He'll wait for some help. Coming up the Mills, DePauli, number 11. He's out there with D'Antonini, 17. And it looks like they'll change behind the play. Also out there is number 7, Tim Tagmeyer, defenseman. Tagmeyer at the right point. He'll wait, set behind the net. We'll mix up for California now. Skating up will be number 13 for the Spartans. They have a 2-on-1. This is Josh Simpson. Dump it over. 16 is Sullivan. Sullivan back. Shot wide. Wide open Cajun. A good defensive play by California. That was 19, Jeff Moyer.
James Lowe got his hands a little high down low there. The refs are going to have to watch out for that one on Case Western.
Tonini rubbed out of the play. He'll be picked up by Stork, number 11. He loses the puck. Cal will try cycle. DePauli backhands it in the zone. Tagmeyer keep at the right point. Still good. Tonini bumps it back in. It'll be cleared to center where Moyer will regroup.
On the last 2 offensive possessions, Justin Schaum, number 13, has been left wide open in the left wing. Cal's got to look for him if he's going to have that kind of space over there.
Schaum will just lay it into the Case end, and the Vulcans will change.
Yeah, this is a smaller roster, this Case Western team, and roster size that is, but they're a big team. Look at some of the size of those guys on that bench over there.
It'll be Woodall, Fleming, and Jamison Roth, number 6, the captain of this team. Woodall, wrister's block, still tries to get it up. Back to the point, Matt Bond, 15. He'll cycle it down low. Possession about 80-20 right now, Vulcans.
Good stay-at-home defense right now by Case Western. Take a look at number 16, Patrick Sullivan, right down there, guarding his goalie and his net, not letting anybody get in front.
Roth tries to beat 2 men on the wall. Tries to come up and takes a hit for his trouble. On the point, this is Bill Abbott, number 12. Slaps it to the net. Big save by Walls.
Good job by the goaltender to see that through traffic right there.
Cal continues to cycle well. Fleming, one hand on the stick to Bond. Tall defenseman. Cycle back down to Fleming. Fleming, skate to the slot. To Roth one time. Big pad save by Walls, and Walls will fall on it, and we'll get a face-off in the Case end. 17:06, still scoreless. and the ice has definitely been tilted in the Case Western end.
Hey, Rob Walls looks really calm in net tonight. You think coming in against a high-scoring team like California, he wouldn't be that prepared for an effort like this. But so far, he's done a nice job. 2 shots on that possession. Read one through traffic, and the other one did a nice job of adjusting and getting across his crease and ready for the one-timer.
Repass, Hill, Batista out here for the Vulcans. Warco and Smith on the back line. Warco dump it into the middle. Still can't get it out. On the wall, Batista can't keep. And Smith will.
Cal set themselves up there. They had 3 guys on the puck. They got to watch out. They're going to Case Smith an odd man rush with defense like that.
Number 9 is Pulaski. He's the everything for this Spartan team. And now here's a steal. We're at the ice's repass. Dump it off. Go back to the middle. Wrister is high and wide off the stick of Jeremy Hill.
California's breakout game can be so explosive. It's plays like that that they're going to get their goals on. That one just didn't find its way home.
Pass behind. And Case tries to clear, but right off the stick of repass. Number 5 in white. He is sandwiched, but still maintains the puck. And now be brought up by Pulaski. Pulaski back 1-on-3. He's going to have to do a lot of this by himself, and he's rubbed out by Warco. And now we'll get another hit for his trouble.
And Pulaski got an unfortunate situation there as his team was in a line change, so he had no help offensively.
Well, California thought they were going to a change, and then Tonini threw it to nobody in particular. Coming up strong now is Mike Stork, number 11. On the right side, throws at the net, and Johnson kicks it, and he'll glove it down for a faceoff.
I don't know what happened on that one there. We're going to look at Johnson there. His mechanics may look a little off. I think he thought there might have been a pass going the other way. He seemed unprepared for a shot there. Maybe he thought the defenseman was going to get a stick on that one. But Johnson a little bit off balance on that save right there. Just had to kick the pad out, and he only got a piece of that one.
You see the end of it there. Jeff Moore, 19, one of the alternate captains on his team. He'll be back out there with DePauli, number 7, Tagmeyer's defensive partner. There's a keep. Backhanded pass to the net, and Johnson stays on his goal line.
It was a nice feed right there.
Tagmeyer jousting back there with Alan Valeni, number 12, before it's stripped away by DePauli. Left-handed shot up the wing. Justin Sham, 13. Back to DePauli, now a 2-on-2 develops, but DePauli overskates. Regrouped on the play. 17 skating is Tonini. Tonini takes out 2 guys, sticked away, shot just through the crease on the play by Sham.
Nice look on the rebound by Sham there. He's going to get a goal tonight if he keeps putting himself in position like he has so far.
Sham had a hat trick. He might have had 4 goals in the last game we did here a while ago, last season. Dumped in, the Vulcans will change behind the play. Brought out of the zone, but kept in by Tonini. Going to the corner now, Sham in the corner against number 14, David Joyce. Sham capes, he'll go behind the net to DePauli, who loses the puck. Now after it is number 16, Patrick Sullivan for Case Western.
Case Western's got a man up. California was changing there. They had 4 guys, the Cal's 2 on the ice, and couldn't get a hold of the puck. Be
brought back. Johnson plays it, negates the icing. And a nice little play there by Fleming to avoid the play. Jamison Roth cutting up the middle. They try to go JR, and it's sticked away. Now a chance on the other end, and it's over the skate of James Lowe.
Right idea by Pulaski there, but he just couldn't get it to his man. It was a tough pass to make anyway, but Lowe should have got a stick on that one and had himself a breakaway.
Case can't keep it in. They'll dump it in, tag up icing, or tag up offsides, excuse me. Johnson will leave it for Bond. Bond on the wall to Ryan Woodall, go cross rink to Fleming, who sees it go off his stick and will be chipped up the wall. Nice play by Pulaski, bringing it to himself, and he's rubbed out of the play by Ryan Woodall. There's a big guy on the right wing.
So far, I've been fairly unimpressed with Pulaski. Maybe it's just the lack of help he has around him, but he hasn't been too aggressive in getting to the puck.
Well, Josh, every time Case gets anything going, it's 1-on-3 the other way. You're not going to win too many of those battles. And here's a 3-on-2 develop it off the stick of Fleming. And now here comes Pulaski. He's slashed on the back, and he takes a little wrister that Johnson doesn't have a whole lot of problem with. And now a little pushing and shoving between Pulaski and Bond, 2 of the bigger men on the ice. Be a face-off in the Vulcan end.
Well, as soon as I spoke, Pulaski started to make some things happen for himself. That seems like that's been his whole game so far, and this one is making his own plays for him. He got a good shot off there, but I think he was hampered a little bit by Matt Bond. Had a stick on his, at least on Pulaski's hands. Maybe the refs didn't quite see that one.
Yeah, caught him on the hip. You'll see that. As long as you don't tug or put him on the hand, you're generally all right. Off a skate, and Warco can't get it out. Now be pushed up the ice by Jeremy Hill. Hill fights through a couple checks. Oh, nice little slide move. Wrister just wide of the net. Missed him short side.
There's another one of those freshmen out of Mars, Jeremy Hill. Nice move there. He's a little guy, too.
Oh, I love it. Hill back to the middle. Nobody there. Warco steps up. Fake a shot. Cuts through the slot. Backhand. He tried to dump it off. Nobody there. And now the other way. And Ben Smith, the only defender back, but the player for Case Western lost his stick. That was Valenti, and Johnson will have an easy play. He'll dump it up the ice. Nice out, and now a big break for California. Here comes repass. 2-on-3 the other way.
Throw it to the middle.
He'll pull up. He's got the point. Warco steps up, middle point, slapper, pad save. Still free in front. Backhander scores. Number 9, Jeremy Hill.
Now give Hill, the squirrely little winger there, some credit for giving his hand on that puck. It was loose in the slot, and Hill was the first one to get to it. We're going to take a look on the replay right here. I told you Cal loves to throw those slappers from the point at the net. This is a case of one of those being a rebound, and Hill with a nice backhander got it around Walls, who's been very composed to this point. Don't take any credit away from him. He made 2 or 3 saves on that offensive series right there. Just Hill got the better of him on that one. Case Western's defense needs to be a little bit more apt to getting to those loose pucks than they have been so far. Like I said, it's going to be the battle of loose pucks in this one, and if Cal wins those, Case Western doesn't stand much of a chance.
It'll be Hill from Warco at 7-12. There's a penalty on the board for the Vulcans. Number 5 is Bill Repass. I didn't see what the call was. Actually, they're waving off the goal, it appears. No, they put the goal up on the board. We're going to have coincidental minors after the penalty. So it's going to be 4-on-4 here. Repass for the Vulcans, and number 19, Jeff Barbardis. Probably coincidentals for roughing, and the Vulcans lead 1-0. Again, that's Hill from Warco at 7-12, and a face-off will be to the right, to the left of Rob Walls.
Just like Rob Walls did there, it's going to be in his best interest to cover the puck whenever he gets a chance. You don't want to get him to freeze the puck too often, but Case Western, when they have a lack of defensive help back there, if Walls freezes the puck, he can keep the pace of the play in his hands rather than California's. That's when California is very effective when they're in control of the game themselves.
Saw a shot of head coach Justin Berger, his second year here for California. Tagmeyer at the point in this 4-on-4. That hit a stick and will go wide. Back to the point. Jeff Moyer will keep it alive on the backhand. Out there with Tanini and B.J. DePauli. DePauli sticks out. 4-on-4 is basically a power play for California. DePauli works in backhand, tries to go to the middle to a cutting Moyer, and a penalty called. Where's the net off? The net is off the morning.
Well, that small box penalty kill strategy of Case Western isn't going to be the most favorable for them, especially when you got a team like California that loves to fire from the point. They're going to make sure at least one guy's spying those 2 defenders and can get in front of some of those shots that they're going to take from the point.
12-14 to go. Vulcans lead 1-0. A goal by Jeremy Hill, his 3rd of the year. And now here's Jamison Roth, keeps that left-handed shot. Vulcans have a lot of good left-handed shots out there. Bond sticks in the left circle, dump it around the net. Ryan Woodall tries to go in front to a cutting Moyer, but Jamison Roth will cover his point, and Case will come back 2-on-2. 1:03 left in the coincidentals. Oh, big rub on the side by Bill Abbott.
And Bill Abbott, bigger and apparently stronger than number 12, Alan Valenti for Case Western right there. He tried to skate by him, and I guess he just couldn't.
Abbott ran to a man, and now will be picked up by Fleming. Fleming goes back. He has a 2-on-1. Roth will stand back. Fleming tries a little toe drag move. Can't. He'll go to the point and set it up for Bond. Bond will wrist one at the net. Tries to get through Walls. Not a lot of vision there for Walls, as California's doing a good job of trying to keep some traffic in front of this goaltender. We don't know if he's a junior, freshman, whatever. We don't know a whole lot about Case Western, but he goes down pretty easy there, Josh. And when you get traffic, tips up over the shoulder, very easy to make.
Yeah, and California hasn't been able to put their sticks on this. The defenders for Case Western have done good in that sense that though there has been traffic, they're putting a body on each California offensive player that's in front of their net. But they're going to have to clear some of those bodies out of there. So far, Rob Walls has done very well of seeing all of those pucks through traffic. You take a look at the goalie for California, Tim Johnson, transferring this year, if I'm not mistaken, and he's performed very well thus far.
Now Robert Morris go to the point. Warco, a little wrist shot. That is tipped, and Wall's able to get a right pad.
And that shot didn't have a lot of velocity on it either.
The coincidentals were roughing minors. 20 seconds left on those as it's gloved down by Warco. I like the way he plays. He's a good skater back there, very confident with the puck. Throws that up the middle. They'll wave icing off over the stick of Batista. Up the wall. It's cut off on the play by Hill. Hill looking for goal number 2 and a pad save by Walls. Now Batista fights for it. Get a little bit of help there, and it's kept in on the point by Ben Smith. Batista back. Warco, he wanted to go opposite point, not there. Penalties over, 5 aside.
Hill was cutting. They should have fired in front there. He made him get another stick on it. He had a step ahead of his defender.
Now Batista wheels out of the corner. Goes to the point. Smith able to get it back, and it's still free. Batista, California just out skating at every loose puck.
Oh, without a doubt, they're the quicker team on the ice right now. Case Western's going to have to outsmart them if they're to beat them in this one.
We'll scrum on the near wall. It's tough for us to see. Coming out, there's Batista, and he just gave it away to Jeff Barbaridis. James Lowe on the left side comes in. Stick down by Pulaski. Pulaski goes in against Ben Smith. Pulaski loses that battle, and bringing it out is Jeremy Hill. Hill runs through a man. Pulaski fights with Smith. He's got a man in the middle if he can get him there. And it goes over the stick alone, be recouped on the play by Tonini, who takes a hit.
Yeah, California had a 3-2 if they weren't on the line change.
Repass, little drop pass for Warco. Did a nice job just getting away out of the big hit. And here comes a 2-on-1 the other way. Pulaski trips over the blue line. Here comes repass, so quick. Fake a shot to the middle. Oh, and trying to pull the trigger and unable to was Tonini, and he loses the puck.
If Case Western had the speed, they have a ton of odd man break chances here, but they just don't have the speed to get it down the ice.
Sullivan deals it up the middle, easily picked off by Jeff Moyer. Moyer just chip it up the middle, be regrouped in by number 7, Tim Tochi. Tochi back to center, and it's picked off by by Justin Shaw. Tagmeyer throws it down the wall. Tagmeyer wide open, left side, Ben. Justin Shaw. Drop for DePauli. Wrist shot, blocked.
There's another one, speed up, and they can go.
A nice job by Moyer at the blue line. Moyer throws it back around, and a heads-up play by Walls as he felt B.J. DePauli right behind him. He'll cover it for a face-off. 8:59 to go. First period, 1-0 California leads on a goal by Jeremy Hill.
You got to appreciate the way Walls is playing here so far. I'm going to reiterate it. He's been very calm, cool, and collected in the net, and that's what you want out of your goaltender. Nice work to this point by the goalie for Case Western, Rob Walls. He's going to have to be the all-star in this one.
Well.
And Pulaski, for his apparent scoring ability, doesn't have very much speed or agility, or unless it's just that much aggressiveness by the California defense.
Well, he's going to have to play 35 minutes in this game, too.
They've got 2 lines at best.
Yeah, California is basically rotating, 3 lines. And, that's something that'll be able to get you through the game. But the fact that Case Western, you may have seen during our open, was not out there. They got here maybe 45 minutes and a huge hit on the wall by Josh Simpson. They're going to be worn out. It's a long drive. Case Western, in case you don't know, is out near Cleveland. Here's Jamison Roth. Turns over on the backhand second time, and it's blocked away by Walls.
It's a great save to kick that pad out right there.
Interrupted my thought. Center point. Bond. Cocks a wrister, not there. Picked up by Fleming. Fleming skate along the blue line. He'll just weave his way through the slot. Try and dump it in front. Woodall sees it go over his stick. Bond unable to keep it, and the Vulcans will have to regroup.
Case Western is merely circling in the defensive end. They're not doing anything to put their stick or their body on the puck. They are simply skating in circles as if they're playing some sort of zone coverage right here. Defensive zone strategy, and it's not working out for them. They got to get on these Vulcan players that have loose space to work with.
Repass takes a slash. Penalty coming up. And it'll be on James Lowe, a 2 for slashing at 12:16.
I don't know if we're going to be able to see that one or not.
It's fairly blatant.
Lowe's just got to, and that could be frustration. When you're getting outskated this badly, you're going to start swinging something, and it may be a stick at this point in the game.
Well, he caught him right on the stick, but any type you make a hack like that, you're going to get a deuce for it. So here you can see a very good look at it right there. Got him right up near the hands as well. Vulcans will send Fleming, Roth, Tonini up front. B.J. DePauli will play the left point. Warco on the right side. Fleming kick over Warco, over to DePauli, left side. Set it up here. DePauli skates all the way down now below the goal line. In front, Tonini sees it go over his stick, and it'll be a clear for Case Western.
Good clearance for Case Western right here. That's what they got to do on these penalty kills. Last time we were on the 4-on-4, Case Western did nothing in an effort to get the puck out of their zone. Now maybe that they have the ability to ice it without any whistle, they're going to go ahead and do that.
Roth on the off wing now. We'll settle it down and regroup. Leave along the goal line for DePauli. Tries to tuck it in on the short side, not there, and now it's picked up on the play by Fleming.
They're leaving these point guys open. Throw it back to him, let him fire it.
Warcos touches it. DePauli will cut to the middle. Wrist shot upstairs, goal. Love that move. B.J. DePauli makes it 2-0. DePauli's 11th goal of the season. Gives the Vulcans a 2-0 lead.
Do you have any doubt he wasn't going to complete that? When he stepped into that slot wide open, there's no way B.J. DePauli's not going to fire it 9 out of 10 times. There's no way he's not going to score his CHA leading 11th goal of the season. B.J. DePauli continues to be on fire here. Watch this move right here. As you talked about, Ben. He cuts to the middle, There, he's got the goalie right where he wants him. He's got to put him in the middle of his crease. And with that kind of space to work with, DePaul can have any of the 4 corners he wants, and he chose top right on that one. Glove high, beating Rob Walls.
A left-handed shot going back against the grain. That's an easy goal for DePaul. It'll be DePaul at 13:02 from Warco and Fleming. Warco with a pair of an assist in this game. We'll have a whistle outside, and the draw will be just outside the Case Western blue line.
Yeah, and we talked about Matt Walker earlier, Ben. He's a freshman out of Washington, PA. The big stat on Matt Walker, defender, what do you want to see? The plus-minus category. Yeah. Defensively, he's leading with a +12 this season. He's got 10 points, 10 PIMs. He tries to stay out of the box. Matt Walker's got a big body, too. He's going to be a successful defenseman here for the Vulcans in the next couple of years.
I misidentified 21 as Fleming. It's actually Dustin Rude. So I apologize for that. Of course, I'm wrong at something. Tagmeyer will chip it back in off the stick of Steve Blakeney, 23 out there. There's a couple new Vulcans out there. Number 2 is Andy Jarrett. And on the other side will be Bob Heil, 18.
Johnson looked a little stunned by a couple of these shots earlier. I'm a little bit worried. They're going to have to keep some shots off his net. Maybe get a little more on him to warm him up. Sometimes the goalies can run cold back there. They don't get any action.
Well, that was the longest time Case has had the puck in the zone at one stretch in this first period.
About 8 seconds.
Under 6 minutes to go, and now skating up his repass, tries to split a couple defenders, still on the puck, chips it to himself, and then tries to bank it off of Walls' legs.
And he did beat those 2 defenders. He squeezed right through the middle of them defensively. You can't get beaten like that. Put him down on the ice if you have to.
That hit one of the support beams. Ceiling ain't real high here at Blade Runners.
I'm surprised you don't see any holes. Well, there's one.
There's a few. There is no netting where we are, Josh, so alertness is key.
I heard that warning. California, this is where the game's going to start to favor them, especially late in periods when they're shifting more players than Case Western can. They should really be able to get some of their offensive outbursts at this stage of the period when they just simply have more energy than Case Western.
Abbott guns one at the net wide. Now sticked away by Hill. Hill's had a spirited first period here. He comes around, splits a couple defenders to the front. Batista, 16, wheel back in front for repass, and it's cut off on the play by Barbaridis. Bond ship it. And the Vulcans will regroup Bill Abbott to his partner Bond.
I was going to call for the cross-ice pass right there, and we got it.
Batista now will cross over, and he's hipped off the play nicely by David Joyce, 14.
Yeah, you got to watch out. It looked like he threw an elbow right there. Barbaritz there got a little bit high, took a man down in the corner, and he is down.
Yeah. The hip was clean.
The one right after that's the one you want to watch for.
And to be perfectly honest, I looked down to see who threw the hit. I didn't see the second part of that.
Yeah, it was Barbaritz. We're going to take a look here, and it was a good hip check to take the man off the puck, but he got a little bit too aggressive after that. So the guy coming maybe to put one on him, so he threw an elbow up and took down the California player that was incoming. Let's see if we can get a look at what
not really.
No, it's the elbow right after this, right there.
Oh, yeah.
He got him.
Well, that isn't the injured player. 16 is Anthony Batista, a freshman out of Penn Hills.
And I'm surprised they're not going to call something on that elbow.
Yeah, the elbow was thrown to a different player, and that probably should have been a penalty.
Didn't look like there's anything wrong with that fall either. Let's see if we can take a look here and get an idea.
Man fell on him. See, that's clean there, unless he just got his knee might have got spun around a little bit. You hate to speculate. And there's the elbow at the end of the play. That was 19. That was Barbardis.
That may have warranted 2 minutes, but let's just hope repass is okay, and California
Batista
surely will move on from this one.
4:56 to go. First period, Vulcans lead 2-0. Jeremy Hill opened the scoring, and then B.J. DePauli added a power play tally. That's where we stand right now. We're going to take a look at that Atlantic Regional standings. Now, this is basically a collection of all the teams in CHE on this side, and you see a lot of familiar names: Indiana, St. Vincent, Monmouth. I love Monmouth. Robert Morris, UPJ. Don't ask me to explain what the points are. I do not understand that system. Vulcans 35 right in the middle there at number 5. And, of course, IEP has to be one.
St. Vincent, again, ranked ahead of the Vulcans in the CHE. North, or are we in the South? We're in the South. I'm sorry. Yes. St. Vincent's got 8 points, but they are 4-1. California without a loss in the CHE so far this season at 3-0. They handed St. Vincent their only loss. Those two teams will meet again. We'll actually cover one of those games for you later this season. St. Vincent, California, probably the best rivalry in the CHE.
Very chippy hockey when those two teams hook up. It is some type of right leg injury, ankle or knee, and it just looked like he may have gotten planted in the ice when he was spun around, and trust me, that don't feel good.
What do they like to say, Ben? He's a hockey player. He should be okay. Hopefully we'll see him again in this one.
No, he's not putting any weight on that right leg.
Just wish a speedy recovery right there to Mr. Batista.
He's been playing on the line with Hill and Repass, and they've done a lot of damage out there. Back to action, under 5 minutes to play, and right off the face-off to Polly. Tries to turn it back to the forehand. It's knocked away nicely by Patrick Sullivan. Tanini throw it around. Sham sitting in the slot. It's like a power play, even though it's 5-on-5. To Polly, back in front. It's tipped away. Tanini will regroup.
Well, like I said, when you're going to be as tired as the Spartans are late in the period, that may tend to happen.
Tanini tried to saucer pass over to Sham. He'll go behind the net, and it's cut off by Pulaski.
And if it comes down to it, ice it if you're the Spartans. It's going to buy you a couple breathers.
They can't even get the puck out of the zone right now. They just chip it, and Pulaski will have to go backwards to try to get something going. They lose it to Sham. Sham throws a blind pass. That's offside.
California's getting a little bit over-aggressive there trying to attack. I am surprised that the score isn't greater than it is right now, especially with the way this California offense is attacking. Like I said, they're going to have to win the battles on the forecheck. That they are not doing. They are getting to the loose pucks in the offensive zone, but so far Case Western has hung so deeply defensively that they are the first team that's getting to the puck. However, when it gets loose in the end, California's all over it. They just got to throw a couple more at the net, and I think they're going to score some.
I'll be perfectly honest with you, they're not shooting the puck a whole lot. They're not putting a lot of shots on goal.
Like
they're cycling and possessing. They're just not shooting the puck a whole lot.
Fire it from the point more often. They have the ability to do that, and they do it very well.
Alan Valenti, number 12, tries to throw it to the middle past a cutting number 8, who is, of course, on our list. Jeff Moyer loses control right in front. And stand up. Vulcan's doing a good job getting 3 men back at every occasion. DePauli down the right wing. Cuts it to the middle. He's bumped off the puck. But DePauli will get it right back. Throw it in front and right past the stick of Tanini. Tanini regroups. Slap it into the corner. And Case will chip it up off, and this will be an icing.
You know what? Like I said, sometimes they have to do that. If it's going to buy them a couple of breaths that they badly need at this stage in the period, 17 minutes gone and you're double shifting, or at least shifting every other time out there, you got to ice it sometimes to get yourself some rest. It's just going to take to defend and hold off these Vulcans late in periods.
There's a backup goalie on the bench and 6 skaters. Roth off the draw. Rue can't get it going.
There's one.
Bill Abbott with the blast, and then Walls couldn't find it. Off the stick of Simpson. And back to Abbott.
Jarrett with a nice blast. There are a couple of Mars boys on this team. And that's just one of them right there, and hit a nice rip on that one.
Abbott, another one of the freshmen out of Exton, PA. Isn't that out by you?
My stomping grounds.
Oh, I remember Exton.
Yes, you do.
Let's take this exit. Throw it in front, Bond. Just missed the goal. Still in, Rue.
California is just out skating Case Western 6 ways to Sunday on this one.
Nicely done. Now here's a chance for the Spartans. That's off a skate. And now here comes Roth. Roth off wing, takes a little wrister. Good job standing up by Walls. He goes down in front, and then Woodall's bumped off trying to go for the puck, and he's rubbed out of the play by Tim Tochi. Back in front, Warko wrister blocked away.
That's a great pass. Warko, the big guy, the defenseman, how do you get that wide open in the slot?
2-on-2 the other way. Player upended for California. It's Pulaski. He's got trailer and low. Pulaski rubbed off, and that'll be a rough. Warko loses his stick and delay call. California's still waiting to touch, and they might get another one for a hook there. They'll touch up. And a big collision. Referee waiting a good while to blow that.
You know, I talked about Mount Warko not drawing a lot of penalties. He's only been in the box 5 times so far this season. This is going to be his 6th trip at Warko on that one. You know, he really didn't need to make that play like that, but he grabbed a man by the helmet. That is going to draw a rough, like you said, and the man was down already along the boards. There was no reason for him to put his glove on his mask, and he did so anyway, and he's going to take a seat for it. Case Western, maybe, just maybe now with a 5-on-4 advantage, we'll see them get something going. They only
Some
have
kind of possession, yeah.
3 shots on goal so far. California probably going to have about a dozen. I'd like to see if Case Western can fire some from the slot, make Johnson a little bit more uncomfortable as he has been so far.
It'll be Matt Warko, 2 minutes for holding at 17:50.
Yeah, some of the awkward bounces the pucks have taken towards Johnson, I think the best you could do is try to set up some traffic and fire it through him. Maybe you get one to bounce the wrong way, and Johnson might let one by.
Tagmeyer, Moyer in the back, DePauli, Hill up front. And the Vulcans easily cleared for the 2nd time, and DePauli in pursuit, and he's going to beat Joyce to the puck. That's a forecheck, Joe.
Thank you. California hanging back right here, trying not to make any mistakes. Not that they should worry.
And that's a
Case
back
Western
check.
doesn't have the speed.
Hill has DePauli, drags it along, but nobody there. He threw that one behind DePauli. Now 3-on-2 if Case can hurry. Mike Stork up the wing. Pulaski trails late. Stork takes the wrister, tries to go short side, and then Pulaski ends up with a shot on goal, and it goes wide. Big save by Johnson.
First one he's had to make all night. Good stack pad save there by Johnson. Get across the crease on the rebound.
Pulaski goes to the middle. Valenti throws it to nobody. It'll be an easy clear out for Bill Abbott, and he's going to skate up and rag more time. Back 1-on-3. Now he'll go back to his own zone as we're in the final minute of play here in the first period. 48 seconds to go in the minor to Warco. And Abbott just guns it and an easy clear. That was the best opportunity they had with Pulaski's rebound, Josh.
They're going to need to generate a couple more power plays. If they can somehow draw California into some penalties here, that's how Case Western's going to get their chances.
Lamardis misses just wide. That's a big, heavy shot.
I don't think Johnson reacted quick enough. If that was on target, it may have caught the net.
Nicely played out by Bob Heil, number 18. Freshman out Bethel Park right here. He's very familiar with this rink. And Heil will stick it away. Off the stick, and he takes a hit, as now Andy Jarrett out here killing penalties.
One last rush for Spartans, possibly.
7 seconds in penalty, 15 in the period. Big wrister blocker save off the stick of Lowe. Back in front, that goes wide. And now Ben Smith with 8 seconds left will clear it. Hanging back is Warco out of the box. Little stick fake backhand, big pad save, and that's how the period's going to end. Warco hanging out of the box, Josh. Why not in that situation?
That's what you're taught to do if you're a player. You know, with this kind of time left, it's not like he has to get back on defense. But again, I credit Rob Rawls. He had an outstanding period despite giving up 2 goals in that one. You know, he had to stop pucks through traffic, one-timers, big shots from the point, something I think California needs to do a little bit more of in the second period. But overall, the Vulcans should be satisfied with the 2-0 lead they have. Case Western's got to find a way to get to the puck because they can't outskate this Vulcan team.
Exactly, Josh. It definitely was a one-side period. Rob Wall stands on his head. Vulcans scored 2 goals. Jeremy Hill, BJ DePauli make it 2-0 Vulcans over the Case Western Reserve Spartans. We'll be back with the second period here on CUTV.
Top Flight Photos specializes in high-flying digital photography. Developers, builders, attorneys, realtors. Let Top Flight Photos help you select a site, record construction progress, settle an accident dispute, or showcase property. Top Flight Photos gets the job done right. Our state-of-the-art infrared scans provide critical repair information for facility managers and engineers. Satisfaction guaranteed. Visit us online. Top Flight Photos, not just plain photography.
Progress Synthetic Turf Solutions has the perfect playing surface for your game. From design and manufacture to installation and implementation, Progress gets the job done right. And Progress stands behind each and every installation with the industry's best guarantee. From football and baseball to soccer and lacrosse, there's a Progress surface perfect for your application. Progress is great for anybody's game.
Loggerheads, the area's best in casual dining and entertainment. Loggerheads features cold drinks of every variety and a complete lineup of salads, sandwiches, gourmet pizzas, and nightly dinner specials. Loggerheads also offers daily food and drink specials, coffee, and dessert items. Or try our Sunday breakfast buffet available until 2 p.m. At night, you and your friends can enjoy local entertainment or various bar games. Loggerheads is located in Cole Center, 5 blocks from the California Business District.
Do you know where you're going? Cal U's Tourism and Geography program gave me the direction I needed to build my career
in the world's largest and fastest growing industry.
A world-class academic adventure.
dedicated to my professional development.
Graduate with experience.
Go places.
2-0 California Vulcans over the Case Western Reserve Spartans, and CHE action here from Blade Runners Hockey Complex in Bethel Park. Ben Slazek, Josh Each is with you. A decidedly lopsided, I guess you could say, first period. Josh, Vulcans maybe 80-20 as far far as puck possession play, maybe even 90-10. Here's a scoring summary as California dominated the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, Jeremy Hill was all over the ice, as a matter of fact, in that first period. It wasn't just on the goal. He's had a ton of space on the left wing right there. That's one of the downfalls of Case Western so far in this one. They haven't put a body on the loose men. You see DePauli there with the other goal. Rob Walls had absolutely no chance on that one. Take a look at the penalty center right here. Repass got a penalty early on for roughing. Then Barbaritz got that one late for roughing, grabbing the face mask on the Cal players and low. That slash, we won't forget Warco. He gave somebody a little bit of a facial too along the boards. California, each team with 2 penalties in this one. California, shots on that one, well, clearly you can see how this one has gone. They hit the net with those 2 red X's right there, you'll see. But look where all the blue circles are. They're in the offensive zone for California. Case Western, absolutely no defense. They haven't been able to get on any of those loose pucks.
And here's our play of the first half, the second goal of the game by B.J. DePauli. And as a left-handed shot, this is something that's very easy to do, cut to the middle and just throw it back over the glove hand. I've done that a few times. And
you're the skater, I'm the goalie. I'll let you take care of what happened on that
and that's
one.
about as easy as it gets for somebody like DePauli. That's a gift right there. And Case Western, again, Josh, had no answer for California's forecheck, their cycle game. Every loose puck, they could not bring the puck out. You got to go stick to stick against California through the neutral zone. You can't just throw it to a space and go get against this team. In Case Western's, if they're going to keep doing that, it's going to be a long night.
And as many blue circles as you saw, I think California needs to fire it a little bit more.
Yeah. And that's a good point. They could have easily had another 15, 20 shots if they wanted to. They cycled and looked for that perfect shot. And they got it a couple times.
In particular, I want to see more shots from the point. I said it enough in the first period, but why not trust your guys? You've had enough traffic that you're going to get to some of those rebounds, and some of them might find the back of the net if you can block Walls' view a little bit more. But credit Walls. He's done an outstanding job in this one. Like I said, from one goalie to another, it's hard when you're getting shelled like that to stop everything. And in some cases, it's a good thing. The more pucks he sees, the more in tune he is. On the other hand, Johnson's looked a little bit shaky. He only saw about 4 or 5 shots.
Yeah, the 2 goals he gave up, you can't blame him on. I mean, DePauli just blew it upstairs on him. The other one was just a bang-bang rebound. And if you're going to pick an MVP of this game, it'd probably be him so far. This very easily could have been a 6-7 goal game. Vulcans now going right to left on your television screen, and touching up the puck will be Justin Sham, 13. He'll cycle and reverse it to number 17, Tanini. One of the Vulcans went down in that first period, 16, Anthony Batista. We have no word on him or if he's going to be back in the game. DePauli tries to dump it in front, and Sham was there. So I'll go right past the stick. He'll be chipped out of the play. Now in pursuit is Pulaski. Going back for the Vulcans is Ben Smith. Pulaski stick to the front, big collision in front. The net comes off, and they'll get the whistle and reset.
That was an outstanding feed by DePauli back in the offensive end for California. He threw it right in front of the net, and I'll tell you what, I'm not sure if that was a case of missing the pass right there. I think the defender actually got Sham's stick in the air, and right there you saw and maybe a
Johnson
little bit of
sticked it out, yeah.
And then offensive end right there, Sham has done a nice job of getting himself in the net so far in this one. Like I said, he was the guy, him and Hill have both been wide open in the left wing. California needs to look for them a little more often. They went for that early right there. Didn't work out, though. Keep throwing those in front of the net. You're going to get a goal.
2-0 Vulcans lead, just underway, second period, 19:14 to go. And California continues to have strong puck presence. Rue, soft dump, goes over a stick. And now Jamison Roth out there along with Ryan Woodall on this line for California. Rue now cycles out left side. He'll go to the point. Moyer just dump it back down the board. Woodall double team, then cycle back around number 8. Who we don't know. Dumps it up the wall for Case Western. Going back to get it is Tagmeyer. No icing on this play. Tagmeyer will send it along same way. Woodall says to go past him. See if Cal changes here. No, they'll let it go. And touching up will be Patrick Sullivan. Sullivan bumped off the puck by Ross.
Somebody's going to get in front for Cal.
Woodall tried, and he was bumped off the play. Moyer keeps it alive. Nice stick there by Woodall, lifting the stick back in front for Woodall. Backhander pad save. Second effort not there. Ross still alive behind the net.
Impressed yet?
Patrick Sullivan being handled there by Jamison Roth, and then a pretty little move there by Rue made 2 guys look stupid. Still and he had Rue.
Nice pass.
Sometimes I catch myself watching this as a fan and a player. Moyer keeps it alive on the wall. He throws a glove up high. That should have been a high stick, nothing called.
Oh, he was skating the wrong right there. You got to watch out by the defender there, Patrick Sullivan. He wasn't looking at the guy with the puck at all.
Went right past Woodall in front, who's late on this shift. And now going the other way will be Case Western. Still free in the neutral zone. Moyer can't get. Moyer's been out here a while. And going back to get it will be Batista, who's back on the ice. Nice see for California. Vaughn had a cutting repass in front. He'll just gain center red and dump it in.
I was about to say how much more refreshed Case Western looks in this period, and they do. Watch out front right there. Oh, and there's a man dumped in front of the metal walls.
You know, even in California, they're taking the hit, and it's Case Western going down. They finally get out of the zone. Now here's a chance the other way. James Lowe tried to throw the perfect pass up the middle to Stork, and it was sticked away. They can't do that. That should be a trip. Referee says play on. Repass, slap shot high and wide. Backhand, nice save there by Walls.
Might get take another look at this shot right here. That one was a rocket just high over the glove of Rob Walls. Take it from the beginning.
Well, this isn't a trip, is beyond me.
Well, you know.
That's a trip.
Pulled it out there pretty quick. I think it's a 50-50, but if you're going to call it, it's a trip. And that shot right there, what a rocket.
This rebound was a good save, too, because I couldn't see who got it, number 9. That was Hill. Got a good chunk of it and would have put it under the bar, and Walls stood up again. Right in front for DePauli. It goes past his stick. And it'll be Pulaski bringing it up.
There's a little bit of a burst from Pulaski. First we've seen in this game.
Yeah, he brings it up, and then somebody fumbles the puck for Case Western, and then Vulcans go the other way. Oh, in front, and a big snafu there, and dumping in the empty net is Simpson. A little miscommunication behind the net, and it leads to Case Western making this a 1-goal game.
Johnson thought one of his defenders had it, albeit he should have kept his eyes open and been aware of where that puck was, but he thought one of his defenders had it. Goes behind the net there. First of all, he makes a misplay on it right there, and fired out in front there by number 15, Matt Bond. Not a good play, especially with your back turned to your teammates. You can't just throw it out in front of your own net, not knowing if you have any partners there. Case Western, opportunistic, stomping on the loose puck there and putting it in the net.
It'll be Josh Simpson, an unassisted goal, his 3rd of the year at 3:24 of the second period. So 2-1, and you know, despite as well as DePauli redirect in front, big save there. For his one side, his game's been now, it's a 1-goal game, Josh.
Yeah, and you know what? I didn't finish my thought a little bit earlier there. Case Western does look a little bit re-energized in the second period, and there's a simple reason for that. They got some rest in the intermission. As this period wears down, they're going to get a little bit slower. It's just natural. They're playing fewer guys than California is, and right now Case Western has that added burst, and they got a goal for it. Hopefully they can stand strong, much like Walls has so far, and keep this one close. Going into the third period, if this one's within 1 or 2 goals, you can't count Case Western out, especially if they get something going early when they have that energy.
There's actually a pane of glass that looked a little unsecure behind Johnson. I'll check that and drop the puck. It'll be Tanini out there with Sham and DePauli. Warco with a pair of assists in this game. Now up to DePauli. He's got a man cutting on the back door and tries to go to him. That would have been Ben Smith. Good defense by Case Western. It looks like they're finally ready to play some hockey.
Yeah, and B.J. DePauli in the center ice right there. I'm sorry, but I got to fault him. You have to fire that puck, especially when you have an open lane to the net.
Yeah. Get Smith creeping in. Now here comes Cal with a 2-on-1. Tanini tries to drag it. He had a man in Warco, likes to join the play. And now DePauli cuts to the middle again. Hangs on, tries to throw it back far post. Warco was there. DePauli trying to make that perfect play again.
Again, I appreciate the pass there, but you got to fire it at the net.
Valente brings it up 2-on-2. Back against Sham, a forward back on the blue line right now as Warco's pinched. And Warco ends up back with the puck behind the goal. Johnson stands in goal, giving up his first, and really a misplay by him. DePauli 1-on-2. Joining him is Tanini. He'll drag it along. DePauli very hesitant to take that wrist shot, trying to get to the front of the net. Still alive in the corner. Cal will change defense behind the play.
Warco has space. If they can free it up there, no one's paying attention to him back here, and he's got that big shot. And with the right-handed shot from this angle.
Good eyes, Josh. He did sheet up on the play. Puck still free in front, and Sham unable to shovel in the trash. Sham relentless on the puck. Out of California. Now Warco will go as Western makes a change. Bumped off the play. That's number 18, James Lowe. Low wrister, and that scores. That's off the shoulder, Johnson in. We are tied at 2.
Dare I say Tim Johnson's a bit off his game tonight. That one beat him. He wasn't paying attention on that goal that happened before. And on this one, there's a goalie that feels good as his team's awarding him for his good play so far. Let's take a look what happened on this one here.
Johnson, good forecheck.
Yeah, Johnson goes down just a little bit prematurely here, and that gives the shooter every inclination to aim high. Lowe took advantage of that and hit the crossbar and bounced in. Johnson right there, glove side. If he's going to go down that early, has to be ready to snare one because that's where the shooter's going to go.
That was James Lowe, 18. That's his 8th goal of the year, 2nd on this team. 5:16 time of the goal. And we are tied up at 2, and It's one of those things. Johnson now, I think that first goal really rattled him as he fought off that shot, kind of backed into his crease, and instead of standing up strong on the puck.
Almost handcuffed,
Yeah.
it seemed like. He put his blocker and his glove in front of that one.
2-2 the score, 14:07 left to go, second period. Vulcans dominated the first period, and then Case with two, dare I say, sloppy goals here in the second period, excuse me, have knotted it up at 2.
Still in football mode. It's all right, so am I.
I've only played this game for 20 years. Johnson now, he's a little nervous every time he handles the puck back there.
He's scaring me.
The same thing when Auban was in goal for Pittsburgh. Rue brings it up, tries to split. He rubs off the bigger man, Tochi, and then Tochi hauls him down, nothing called. Roth behind the net. Dump it back in front, open man is there. Rue curdles and wrists it, and right into the chest of Robert Walls. And Walls has stood up strong. He's a very good positional goaltender. A lot of these shots are hitting him right in the chest, right in the shoulder, and that's what you want as a goaltender.
Yeah, but hey, there we go. Finally a plus for California. Rue did a great job of reeling that one in, pulling the trigger on the move there. Yeah, he shot into the paddle, into the chest of Walls, but doesn't matter. He got it off, and that's what Californians do. Just fire it at him. Something's going to go in when you get that many shots. The percentage is working in your favor.
This will be icing as long as it doesn't clear the crease. And it will. If that goes through the blue, then the icing is negated, or if the goalie will come out and play it. 13:20 left to go, 2-2. Jeremy Hill made it 1-0 early in the first for California. BJ DePauli added a power play goal with about 5 minutes left, and then in the second period, a weird bounce for California, or excuse me, for Case Western. Simpson scores basically into an open net, and then James Lowe puts one in the goal. And we are tied up at 2 with 13:18 left to go, second period.
Cal's going to make something happen real soon, though, I'll tell you that. Case Western's starting to tire now.
Puck in front. Hill took the wrister. That should be a hook. And it will. Batista will go to the box for a hook at 6:53.
Maybe I spoke a little bit too early, but Case Western, yeah, they're starting to tire a little bit now into the second period. Like I said, double shifting guys, but with a power play, that's going to give them an opportunity to get a couple more shots off before California can really bring on the assault. So take a look right there. That was a good call by the officials. And Case Western here is just got to keep throwing it at Johnson, much like the Vulcans do at Walls. Only in Johnson's case, it's because he hasn't faced enough shots, and he just looks a little bit off his game tonight.
Bond and Abbott on the back line. It'll be Heil and Andy Jarrett up front for the Vulcans as Tim Tochi brings it up and then dumps it off to Stork on the left side. Stork brings it in. Wrist shot, glove save, Johnson. Not much of an angle there, but a good save by Tim Johnson.
Yeah, and there's shots that players are going to take all the time that you say, hey, if the goalie let that one go, it probably would have went wide anyway. But nonetheless, it's a confidence booster. Anytime you can snag it in your glove, feels good to get a hold of that puck cleanly like Johnson did on that one.
Something else we've kind of neglected to mention, the Vulcans have been dominant in the face-off circle in this game. And there's another mistake by Case Western, just a bad pass up the middle. Now they got to go back and regroup. A minute and a half to go on the power play. 12:35 to go, second period, tied up at 2.
California's got a couple of guys, namely Repass and DePauli. There's a couple shorties on the season so far. Watch out for DePauli. He'll take the shot shorthanded if he can.
Barbardis dump it through, and now it'll be picked up by Pulaski on the left side. Get some interference, nothing called. Back in front, puck is free. And tangled up on the play that time was number 8, and it looks like we are going to get a penalty.
You know what, and I don't think it's what you saw, Ben. I think it was right in front of the net there. Number 8 for Case Western, the guy we don't have on our roster. Looked like he took one of the Cal defenders down from behind.
That's exactly the call.
And it was 18, yeah. He took a man out, and you can't do that. I think they get him for a high stick or a cross.
Interference. It'll be number 18, James Lowe. 2 for interference at 7:43. So we'll play some 4-on-4 hockey for the second time tonight. And the Vulcans will get a short power play out of this of about 50 seconds when it's all said and done. Lugging the puck now will be Ben Smith.
California could only do themselves a favor by spreading out a little bit, making Case Western reserve themselves to the middle of the ice.
Hill tagged up in the corner to the top. Now Warco, nice job handling that puck. Now he'll crisscross and go to his one-timer side.
Nice spin by a D-man.
Niedermeyer back there. Gets to the middle. Wrister is blocked in front. Loose puck still free, and right in front of a sprawling Rob Walls kicked away. It'll be cleared up the wall by Sullivan, but not out. Warco's been dominant in the blue line. Hill winds up to the corner now. Sham, Wrister in front, trying to set up the give-and-go play. Back in front, nobody's there. 26 left in the penalty to Batista.
I want to see Warco handle the puck a little bit more.
Oh, and what a shot on the wall by Hill, and the player's hurt. He may have broke his ankle.
He's hurt bad.
That's Alan Valeni, number 12.
He clutched that ankle right away. We're going to see it on the hit right here. He may have got caught in the boards. There's no telling what happened on that one. He got shook up, and he clutched his ankle right away. The gloves and the stick went down. Anytime the player throws his gloves off, you know he's in pain.
That was a heck of a hit. That's not good.
It went in the air. We didn't see enough of the replay there to know what happened.
11:24 left in the period. 17 in the Meyer Batista. 2-2 is your score. And while we have a minute, Josh, we want to thank everybody here at Blade Runners for taking care of us today, like they always do when we've been out here.
Yeah, we got a couple catalogs in front of us here. Blade Runners Ice Complex, advertising their bumper car parties. You can check some of those out on www.bladerunnersice.com. Too, they got exciting party packages here. The bumper car is only $13 per person. You get some admissions for 3 cars per person, and an MVP right at $16 per person. Come check out Blade Runners here, and any information at www.bladerunnersice.com.
Valeni is the man down, number 12.
You just can't tell right there. You can't tell from the way he went down, but you know it's an ankle.
Well, it's his right ankle. It would have been the outside foot, and it was Jeremy Hill, number 9, that hit him. And he's still down on the ground. Take a look at the California bench.
You see the team scoring leaders right there. One of the players we didn't get to talk about earlier was Dan Tonini. He's another one of those freshmen on this team. Comes out of New Eagle, Pennsylvania, very close to California. He's got 8 goals and 8 assists on the season, 2nd on the team in points, and 4th in the CHE in scoring. He does, however, lead the team in penalty minutes at 22, so clearly Tonini, an aggressive player, not afraid to mix it all up a little bit either. And California's got a lot of little scrappy guys as you look down that bench. And look at the Case Western bench. They don't play with as much muscle as you would think for a team of their size.
They play more games, too.
Especially when there's not as fast. You'd think they'd use their strength a little bit to their advantage, but just hasn't been the case. And Pulowski, need we say any more about him, though he's been quiet in this one. Definitely all the offense on the Spartan team.
And so the referee skating over, and it's definitely an ankle injury, which is pretty easy to tell. Take a look again at some of the standings in College Hockey East. The North Division, that's Case Western side. Robert Morris at first. That's actually Robert Morris. They have a couple teams. They're a D1 school at the top level. But Case Western, Pitt down there, Penn State Barron, and Edinburgh at 0-4.
Yeah, Case Western actually got one of their victories this past week against Edinburgh. Their loss coming to Pitt Johnstown.
You take a look at the South Division of College Hockey East. St. Vincent there. The Polar Bearcats at 4-1 with 8 points overall. Vulcans with 6. UPJ, which I believe are the Mountain Cats, at 3-1. IUP at 3-1. Ice Cats, excuse me. We did a UPJ game, correct? And Penn State Altoona at 0-4 down there with Edinburgh. Remember to check out anything California athletics, as well as the club sports, equestrian, cheerleading, and there's a football game this weekend in case I missed it, Josh.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
I think IUP's here this week. www.calvulcans.com. Tom Burns' his staff have the best website in all of the PSAC. It looks like we might be a while here, Gary.
We can only hope he's okay.
Yeah.
And he's got his head down, and they're out there taking a look at that one. This, I think, may be a little bit worse off than the Cal player earlier on.
I've broken it. I've broken ankle before, and that kind of is the indication that I'm getting. 11:24 to go here in the second period. 2-2 California and Case Western Reserve. We're going to take a quick break, and we back right after this.
The Best Western Garden Inn, located just off exit 12B on I-70 in Bentleyville, has the latest in deluxe accommodations for you and your family. The Best Western Garden Inn features a free continental breakfast, an indoor heated swimming pool, free cable TV and HBO, and beautiful rooms, some selected with indoor jacuzzis, which is a vacation in itself. If you're in need of a place to stay that's affordable and cozy, the Best Western Garden Inn is just what you need. Why not give us a call at 724-239-4321.
You got ID? Okay. Nothing goes better with leftovers than some ice-cold Pepsi. It's the Cola.
Loggerheads, the area's best in casual dining and entertainment. Loggerheads features cold drinks of every variety and a complete lineup of salads, sandwiches, gourmet pizzas, and nightly dinner specials. Loggerheads also offers daily food and drink specials, coffee, and dessert items. Or try our Sunday breakfast buffet available until 2 p.m. At night, you and your friends can enjoy local entertainment or various bar games. Loggerheads is located in Cole Center, 5 blocks from the California Business District.
Okay, you're ready. Now what you need is some help, turning that decorating idea of yours into reality. So you head for your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. They'll help you coordinate colors, pick the right high-quality paint in their handy new twist and pour container, show you how to do the latest faux finish techniques. And before you know it, you've turned that decorating idea of yours into one beautiful bedroom. Ask how? Ask now.
Ask Sherwin-Williams.
2-2 the score between Case Western Reserve and your California Vulcans. Number 12 for Case Western Reserve, Alan Beleni, off the ice with an apparent broken ankle. Took a big hit on the wall there from Jeremy Hill and got a nice applause. You hate to see that. And for Case Western, he's been getting a regular shift, as they all have, and now that bench even depleted. Basically, they have one line on the ice and one line on the bench now, and it's going to be even tougher for them. And you know, that'll take a lot out of you emotionally, too, because when you only travel 15, 16 players and one of your brothers goes down like that, it's tough to kind of think about what's going on, especially for a team that's kind of come back and gotten themselves in this game, a game they have no business being in right now.
No, and with 6 guys on the bench, like you said, and the 7th man in the box, they're basically going to be having guys shift in every other shift for the rest of this game. That means you're talking about guys playing about, I'd say, 15 minutes respectively until this one is over. That's going to really, really hurt you, especially when California has the ability to shift 3 lines. While they have this 4-on-4, they got to try to make something happen, because in a matter of a minute, Cal's going on the power play here, and they may start to pour it on. Well, like I said, as this period goes on, Case is going to tire out more and more, and even more so now with the man out. It's all going to come down to fatigue. California seemed to struggle with that a bit early in this one. Case Western made up for some of the intermission. And they're gonna lose it real quick here. Just losing one man, whether he's an all-star for your team or not, is going to kill you.
Well, if you're rolling 3 lines and a 4th line gets a nod shift here or there, your forwards are playing maybe 16, 17 minutes a game. Case Western's going to have to be playing 30 plus. Little wrister on the play there by number 17, Tanini. The Vulcans will have a power play here in about 8 seconds for about 50 seconds.
Throw it across.
DePauli sits at the left wing, and that's a bad pass. Right in front of it was number 8, the guy we don't have, but nice job picking the pocket there by B.J. DePauli. And the Vulcans are now on a power play. 11 minutes even in the period, 40 seconds left in the man advantage. Roth pulls up on the right half boards. Back to DePauli at the point, center point. He guns one at the net, hits a man in front. That was number 16, Sullivan, and it's cleared by Case Western. Now half a minute to go in the power play.
Yeah, and I hope that block shot doesn't discourage BJ from pulling the trigger anymore. Like I said, when he moves into that slot, if there's a lane to the net, he's got to take it, because he has such an accurate shot. If he can put it on net, it might find the back.
DePauli going coast to coast now, looking for the wraparound. Dump in front for Roth, and a blocker save by Walls. And then Rue misses the net very high.
Walls didn't have a stick there for a minute. We'll talk about that in a second, what that does for a goalie.
Rue trying to throw it to the front. One time. Oh, he had a one-timer opportunity. Sticked away from Tanini. Even now. Moyer, left point. Back in front off a couple sticks, and now here comes Case the other way.
Right idea right there by 19 for California. That's Moyer, but he didn't have enough velocity on that pass at all.
Tanini one-times that puck. It's a 3-2 game. Skating laterally now, Moyer, left side. He fires with some traffic in front, and a nice save by Walls with Tanini right in front of him. Walls, again, standing on his head all game long.
Now let's go back to that series a few seconds ago. I don't know if we're going to see it particularly. No, that was on that shot. Again, not to take away from Walls. That was a great save, though. But anytime a goaltender loses his stick, it throws his whole sense of balance off. You don't necessarily do that much with your stick. Sometimes you poke check it. But without a stick, the goalie basically only has 2 hands to use to move himself around with. The stick kind of helps you steer as a goaltender. And as Walls was down, I'm surprised California didn't try to throw it off. Credit the defenders there. They blocked him for their goalie really well and didn't allow California to get one off.
Bond keeps it in the near point. Well, David Joyce takes a bump. Bond continues to keep it in. The Vulcans D have done a nice job possessing the puck. And now a nice still stick move there by Batista. Batista tries to center the puck for repass. It'll be chipped off the wall and out. Vulcans will tag up and are now onside. Well, nice job at the blue line there. That was Hill. And now it's brought in on by Bill Abbott. Abbott gains the blue line. Behind the back, repass throw to the front. That's sticked away. Batista now, one man behind the net, banks it off the back, and he's rubbed out of the play nicely by Joyce. Batista gets it back, throws in front, nobody there, and it'll be chipped off the wall and iced out.
And I think they're going to let this one go, and they do. California's starting to do it again, Ben. They're starting to circle, and Case Western's starting to slow down a little bit. They're sort of, becoming a little bit catatonic. They're not moving. They're staying in place there. They're not chasing California around. The fatigue is setting in now midway gone through the second period, and if California starts to swarm in that manner, they're going to get to one of these loose pucks. Somebody's going to break open, and California, I'm telling you, they're bound to put one in here soon.
Puck out of the zone, 9 minutes even to play. They put the Roth line out with Rue and Woodall.
And that was just a mishandle by Smith. He should have had that off the faceoff.
Rue gains the line, back 3-on-3. Rue with Woodall going hard to the net, throw in front off the stick, and then off the netting of Ryan Woodall, who went hard to the cage, the sophomore out of Scott Township, PA, Char Valley High School.
Good decision by Jameson Roth right there to throw that one in front. Excuse me, that wasn't Roth that threw that one. That was Rue that threw that one in front. Roth was streaking down the middle. That's the right idea. California keeps putting them in front, but Walls has been phenomenal with his angles tonight, cutting off every puck exactly as it comes at him.
He's very active back there. He doesn't sit and wait till it hits him, and now nicely done, brought in there by Rue. One hand, he had to readjust his glove and still gets it to Warco. Warco throwing for a redirected score. Roth got a stick on it. It's a 3-2 game.
That's why I've been begging for California to just throw it at the net. That one got tipped right in front, and Walls can't do anything about that one as far as I'm concerned. That's a defensive lapse right there. That's a great job by Roth in front here. That's why I say give it to the point. They'll fire it. And you got guys screening in front, just like Jameson Roth was right there. He's bound to deflect one here or there. He gets it to find the back of the net. Walls can't do anything about that when it changes direction. The defenders, the only ones that can help that. Ben, fire from the point more often. This is how you get goals, especially when you've got big guys in open space like the Vulcans have so far.
Warco and Rue will get assist on the goal at 11:21, 3-2 for Roth, his 7th of the year. Warco with 3 assists on the game. Woodall puts a shoulder in his man.
You got to get out of this.
Oh, what a hit on the play. That could have been interference, but Rue put a shoulder right into the chest of Pulaski.
And he barked at the ref about it. He thought it should have been a call, too.
Pulaski tries to put a stick into his man. That's not going to work. Wrist shot, and that just misses the cage off the wrister by Warco. Very active from the defensive position. He'll take the puck at the right point. He's going to throw it again, looking for a redirect. That was there. Wrist shot saved by Walls off the shot from number 21, Rue. Back in front. Warco again on the puck.
I'm amazed anyway, nonetheless, by Walls. He'd have had all of these if they even put him on the net.
That's a penalty. Delay call coming up in front. Warco, oh, he waited too long. Wrister, puck's body's flying everywhere, and they'll get the whistle. And now it's getting real chippy out there. And a penalty coming up for the as the Vulcans will go back on the man advantage.
I'm not going to shut up about it. Walls is impressing the heck out of me in this one. All these pucks, even though there's been no shot on the net, he's been in position to stop all of them. He's a big body in there, and it only helps when he moves as smoothly as he does. It's not like he's frantic and diving for the puck. He glides across the crease very calmly, setting himself up to make the save, and he did that right there again. 3 or 4 bodies in front, and he was still able to get an eye on it and cut it off.
Josh Simpson, 2 minutes for tripping at 12:23. The Vulcans will go on the power play. This is their 4th opportunity.
2-on-1.
They're 1 of 3 today. Shorthanded the other way comes Mike Stork, and he lost the puck.
Now watch Warco quarterback this play. Call me old-fashioned, but I
love
your,
it.
Your Al McGinnis's and Gary Suiters setting up the play from the point.
There's a guy that wore a couple 7s that was pretty good, too. Wrist shot from the Pauly. Pad save. Trying to go 5-hole now. Warco sets center point. He's just going to gun to the net and breaks his stick in the process. Puck still free to Pauly. DePauly waits, trying to center it. Did it go through? No, puck still in the corner.
And Walls checked behind him. He thought that went through his 5-hole.
Rue gets the stick out of the way and brings it up the left half boards. Dump it to the wall. Behind Tonini. Pieces of lumber still being distributed out of the zone. I hate those one-piece sticks. Moyer wrist shot. That didn't get a lot on it. Now Roth beats everybody to the puck. He's got Tonini in front, hit a skate. And then Tonini beats 3 men to the puck and blows a wrister just wide of the net. Moyer has to hustle, and he won't be able to keep this in. Vulcans will have to regroup. 55 seconds to go in the man advantage. 6.5 to go second period with California up 3-2.
Cal's got to keep it in the back of the mind there. They almost got caught in too deep there. Case Western just couldn't get to the puck to get the breakaway.
Roos comes all the way around the net. He'll go to the point. Jeff Moyer back to Rue. Roos surveys the situation. He's got Tonini in front. He's got Ross on the back post.
Great dish.
Throw it in front. Ross still with the puck. Back in front for Tonini. Goes past him, and Case will clear.
When you can get a cross-ice pass in the air and connect with the other man's stick like that, especially when it hops over 3 or 4 defenders, not just one here, that was an awesome pass there by the defender, Joyce.
Good forecheck by Joyce to knock it away and delay the breakout for California. That clock is correct. 18 seconds left to go in the penalty. DePauli, possible last rush up, and he's got speed down the right side. DePauli cuts in, goes back in. He's got 2 men there, and it's sticked away. Nice defensive play made by Pulaski. Rue now still with his stick. Backside post, Tonini off the crossbar.
What a pass.
Penalty overward, even strength. DePauli walks out back in front. Roth now cycles behind the net, and Tonini will pick it up. 5.5 to go, second period. In front, DePauli sets it up. Nice little drag move behind the net. Look in front, puck rolled off his stick. Roth tips it again, puck still free, and then Wall says, "Give me that," and he'll get a face off to his left.
The way California's cycling in the offensive zone is just amazing me right now. They give it to one guy behind the net, and the other 2 guys simply start skating circles until one of them moves into open space. Watch how they cut to the net. You're not going to see it here, but it's on. As soon as they get a guy behind the net, they'll send a guy like DePauli or who am I seeing here on the last one? I saw number 21 for California come streaking in from behind into the slot. But these Case Western Reserve players seem to get a little bit too, I should say, entrenched on watching the puck behind the net. You got to watch out who's coming in behind your defenders there. You don't want to leave your goalie out to dry, especially in wide open space in the center of the ice right there.
Offensive zone face-off win. Abbott guns it to the net. Easy save for Wallace. 5:10 now to go here in the second period. Jamison Roth, the go-ahead goal here in the second after 2 quick goals by Case, tied it up at 2. Nice hustle play there by Hill to keep it in. Abbott up the fire from that point. That one high off the glass behind the goal. Repass, dump it back around. Batista one-on-one behind the goal. He comes out of there with a rock. Protects the puck on his backhand. Circles, goes all the way around the ice. Tries to dump it in front, and not a good read there from Hill, but Bond keeps it in. Puck still free, and Walls covers.
Why shouldn't he? It's getting a little bit crazy in there. Case Western's going to have to survive a storm for these last 4 minutes. I think it's become very clear right now that they're gasping for breaths. Wall's doing everything he can to control the play and keep the face-offs coming as his team, though they haven't been successful, a face-off's going to give them a breather, and that's what they desperately need, especially the way Cal's swarming right now. Like I said, they keep cutting to the center of the ice. If Case Western doesn't watch out, they're going to have their backs turned, and Cal's going to fire one past them.
Shots about 16-4 here in the second period. Fourth line out for the Vulcans, Jarrett, Heil, and Blakeney, number 23 out there for California. Warco gets out of the zone, or did he?
First time it's been in the Case Western Reserve offensive zone in quite some time, let alone they didn't get a shot off.
Heil loses the puck, and it's still free at center ice before Andy Jarrett, number 2, freshman out of Mars, moves in. It's dumped back in by Case. Is this going to be icing? Yes. 4:11 now to go. Quick shift for the fourth line as California will send back out DePauli, Justin Shum, and Tonini for this offensive zone draw.
Yeah, Tonini, he's been rather quiet in this one, especially for a guy that has scored as well as he has in this one. I think that, again, might be a matter of California looking too hard to make the perfect play. When you got guys with scoring ability like DePauli and Tonini and even Warco, from what I've seen ahead on this one, those kinds of guys need to shoot the puck at the net a little bit more.
Oh, what a pass. Wrister high off the stick of Tonini.
Some call him gifted, and sometimes a great hockey player just has really good luck.
Oh, don't I know it. They'll ice it one more time. It'll be an icing. 3:55. Linesman raises his arm. It's an icing. Referee raises his arm. That's a penalty.
Yeah, not to take a credit away from any of the players. You know what I'm saying, Ben.
Yeah.
Sometimes those better players just seem to get the better bounces sometimes. Or
you create your own
that nose
chances.
for the puck, yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't matter how fast you are or how big you are. It's just knowing where to be on the ice and how comfortable you are with your line mates. You play together with the same players for years and years, months and months, and these players, a lot of these players have played together even in high school. And they know where each other's going to be and where each other's tendencies are. And sometimes it's easy just to get to the front of the net. And sometimes it's just basic hockey. As you saw Sham just try to get to the back post with B.J. DePauli curling in front. Still free. Sham, a one-touch it over. That was Jeff Moyer coming from the blue line. Back in front, big rebound laid out there. And it'll be iced one more time by Case Western. Right now is in survival mode with 3.5 to play, second period, and the Vulcans up by a goal.
And they're doing a good job of it. Somehow California hasn't had as many shots as they could right now, and it's not really a case of Case Western having the defenders there to stop it. They're tying up some of California's free men, and that's just not allowing California to make the pass. And leaving Rob Walls one-on-one with the shooter doesn't seem to be that bad of an option in this one. He has been squared up to every shot that's come his way.
Well, I'll give Case Western one credit. They haven't allowed any breakaways, 2-on-1s, anything like that.
And for as slow as they are, that's a surprise.
All of California's offense has been done the hard way, cycled and off the wall and creating their own chances in the offensive zone. Just like Dustin Rue here brings it all the way around. You got Bond at the point. Bond has nothing there, and he'll just wrap it around the wall. Tim Tochi will get it for California. He's bumped by Dustin Woodall. Those two do battle. Pinned along the far boards. And Jamison Roth comes out there with it. He brings it in, dumps it to the middle. He fell off his skates. Good call, good no call, I should say, by the referees. Good physical play there by Case Western, who finally has a little bit of speed, bringing it up the wing. Jeff Barbaridis on the backhand, and Johnson can't find it. And there's a player down behind the goal. That's Barbaridis, who ran himself heavily into the dasher behind the California goal. Johnson comes up with the puck.
I didn't know that Case Western had him in at this point. California defenders caught a little bit off guard right there. I didn't think that Barbaridis was going to blow by him like that, but he certainly did. And it looked like that was Joyce back there for California. Just didn't seem ready to face that one from Barbaridis.
2:47 now to go as you take a look at the bench for Case Western. The Spartans head coach Scott Yunke.
Silent E or not?
I don't know. Nobody tells us anything for the visitor teams anyway. This will be icing, but the goalie Walls has to come out because Batista was going to beat him to the puck. There's that team speed. That's a perfect example of it there.
Yet they have more space.
James Lowe, wrister, big blocker save there as Johnson had to come high and protect the goal. Lost my train of thought there. That could have easily been a trip. Warco right in front of his own goal. Dangerous pass will be brought up the near side off the stick of Batista.
Yeah,
Hill sidesteps the check. Sorry, Josh.
California collapsed all three forecheckers on that puck right there. That's not what you want to do. Big hit delivered by Hill there. You love to see the glass rattle, Ben, huh?
Well, Simpson went high, and Hill, the smaller guy, he just went low on, put basically his head in his hip. 120 seconds to go here in the second period. That'd be 2 minutes. Into the front, there's a hook, nothing called. Right in front, repass through it to Hill, nothing there. On the backhand, Hill throws in front, repass ends up on top of Rob Walls. As Batista has some words with a much bigger Josh Simpson, who's been picked on a lot. Call him the Air Cairns of this team. Big, slow, and not a whole lot of effectiveness.
Replay right there. They didn't get all of that shot right there, but Rob Walls, once again, he's huge, and when he comes out that far to cut off the angle, you basically are firing the puck right into his body. You have no option. You can't get around him with that size, and he's maybe, half a foot in front of you?
Kept in by Tagmeyer. And now Sean will just backhand it up the wall, but nicely played by Barbaritz to cut it off. And now Tagmeyer will chase as Kokinos lost his edge. Right on goal, and Walls will have to cover as DePauli will push and shove, and ending up on his backside is Tim Tochi. DePauli will play with a little bit of an edge. Likes to talk out there a little bit.
Yeah, one of the things
I admire that.
You mentioned earlier, Ben, was the fact that Case Western is just surviving right now, and that they are. And with 1:30 to go, I think they may get out of this period with a 3-2 deficit.
They'll be happy with that.
And that's it. They will be happy. Right now, they're just letting Walls control the play, and they're not making any careless mistakes on defense, and that's going to be key to keeping them in this one.
Sean slaps her right in the doorstep as DePauli, and standing tall was Rob Walls, going right into his chest, and he's made a couple huge saves. Right in front of the goal was B.J. DePauli.
And I'm sorry, but it seems the only way you're going to beat him is on a one-timer deflecting the shot, because if you allow him to square up just like that.
Oh, good save.
He's got his pad there, the 5 holes open a little bit, but he had his stick down ready to stop that too. Walls, great mechanics from a goaltender standpoint.
Well, if I'm B.J. DePauli, I do the same thing. I pull it back and try to tuck it under the bar. And here comes DePauli. Gets through one man. He's got Sean on the back post. Lays it to him, and it's kicked away by a very active Rob Walls. He's nearing 100 saves in this game. Final minute of play, second period, as Moyer puts a shot onto Nick Kokinos.
Watching the transition right here for California, especially shooting up this wing. I saw it coming.
Here comes Justin Sean, 2-on-1 DePauli. DePauli taps his stick. He wants the puck. He gets it, and he goes right past him. Sean may have waited a half second too long there. 40 seconds left to go, still in.
One way you look at it, it was a terrific delivery, whether it was late or not. You got to connect on that pass. I think California needs to get a shot off there.
And Sean's a left-handed shot. That's a one-timer for him. Excuse me, DePauli left-handed shot. Now onto the stick of Dan Tonini. 24-second slap shot, and that kind of surprised Walls. He had a screen in Barbaritz right in front of him. I don't think he ever saw that puck.
No, he took in the bread basket, though, and like you said, he went down right away just to squeeze and make sure he had it.
Never saw it.
Anytime you have a reaction like that and you see the goalie clinch up, you know he's not sure where it is. Walls, though, maybe a little bit fortunate that one went in there, but had that even gone in, Rob Walls played outstanding in this period, even better than the first, if you ask me.
Final 21 seconds of the second period. Dustin Rue will take the draw. And nicely done, kept in on the glove, and then Bond just tucks and covers. I'm not sure if that's quite legal, but prevents the breakout. Now Rue the other way. Rue gets by one man. He's got two men in front. Little toe drag play, and he's cross-checked from behind and into the glove of Rob Walls. Can't you tell I love the officials in hockey even more so than football?
Oh, where's the big shooter when you need him?
Oh, I don't need him for this, trust me. Watch this little toe drag.
The dipsy-do,
I
if you
can't
will.
do that.
Oh, and he flashes a letter. That one went right into his glove, and he threw the snare up there just to make it look a little bit fancier than it was, but that's okay. You can get cocky when there's only 6 seconds left in the period, and you've made about 3,000 saves.
Rue tried to just dump it to himself. He was unable to. Oh, and a little elbow thrown there at the end by number 13, Josh Simpson, who's tried to pick the physical play up. There's some talking going on out there, but a very, very good period of hockey as just Jamison Roth now has a little discussion. He doesn't really talk a whole lot out there. That's James Lowe, number 18. The referees will separate them. Spirited 20 minutes of hockey, Josh, and saw 3 goals in Case Western got themselves back in this.
Hey, maybe the captain trying to fire his team up a little bit. I'm going to tell you what, though they're leading, they're not going to be happy with this. California with about twice as big of a roster, twice as fast of a roster, twice as skilled as a roster. They're not going to be happy with the 3-2 lead. They should have scored way more times than they did in that period. They need to get more shots up to do so. Case Western, the underdogs, hanging tough, and you got to appreciate the way they're playing in this one. Smart hockey. What you would expect out of one of the top 10 academic institutions in the nation.
Case Western fights their way back in it, but just Jamison Roth with the go-ahead goal gives California a 3-2 lead over Case Western after 2 periods. We'll be back with the third right here on CUTV.
For your next business or group excursion, contact the family-owned and operated tour and transit company that's been serving our region for over 67 years. Edenfield Stages is committed to providing a safe and friendly travel experience for our guests. Our comfortable coaches and courteous skilled drivers can take you to any of today's popular destinations. Call for your free travel brochure and let us schedule a coach or help with planning your next event. Call Edenfield Stages at 1-800-245-8600.
Introducing Points from National City, the best banking rewards program. It gives you points for paying bills online, using your check card, or even writing checks. Everyday things, so the points really pile up fast. Then you redeem them for lots of things you'll find rewarding. Points from National City. Sign up today. It's free.
Toyota, a reputation built on reliability, a vehicle for every need, for every person, for every situation. The best-selling Camry, the economical Corolla, the sporty Celica. Looking for a truck? How about Tacoma and Tundra? Lots of options and ultimate safety. And if you're looking for an SUV, Toyota has 5 models to choose from, including the Highlander. Find them all at Washington Toyota.
Dynamite deals right here today. Come on in, you're number one.
Bowser's brand new location on 3rd Street in California is taking the town by storm. Wings are wild every Thursday. They're just 30 cents all day. Satisfy your munchies with $2 cheese fries from 10 until 2 a.m. every weekend. And Bowser's is famous for its Pittsburgh-style sandwiches smothered with cheese, slaw, and fries. With free local delivery and expanded hours, why go anywhere else? You've got to try Bowser's on the main street. They're taking California by storm.
3-2, California leads Case Western Reserve after 2 periods in the CHE Interconference matchup. Ben Slazak, Josh Each is with you here from Blade Runners Complex. Vulcans led 2-0 after the first period, Josh, and then Case Western took advantage of some poor puck management in the defensive zone of the Vulcans, tied up at 2, but Jamison Roth with the big goal to give the Vulcans this 3-2 lead.
Yeah, some mismanagement, if you will, on the part of the
Nice.
California Vulcans. Defensively there, a couple of lapses. Let's take a look at the scoring summary from that period. Josh Simpson for Case Western with one. The other one going to Mr. James Lowe there. 2 in a row. Spartan strike quick, and Roth takes one back. The captain Jamison there. You got to love it. Taking one back for California late. The penalty summary. Yeah, a couple early on, but things like you said, it got real chippy towards the end of that period there.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see a couple here at the beginning of this period. Roth, and I'm not sure who it was for Case Western, but they exchanged words. James Lowe all the way into the locker room on that one, so we'll see how this period turns out.
Take a look at the 2004-2005 Elite 8 banner. Again, it was another period that the Vulcans dominated in the offensive zone. You take a look at the shots. Take those 2 goals away. There's only, 5 shots there, and a ton, including a lot from the left point. A lot of those belonging to Matt Warco, who has 3 points on the night, all assists, including one that set up this Jamison Roth goal. A beautiful redirection in front.
Yeah, this is the captain taking one back. Like I said, it was 2-2 at this point. If it weren't for this deflection here, that shot did come from Warco, I believe. Yeah. Deflected by Roth right there. A phenomenal job, and we're not going to fault the goalie Rob Walls at all. He has absolutely stood on his head in this one and done 3 cartwheels backwards with his hands tied behind his back.
While wearing a blindfold.
We're wearing a blindfold, and I heard he was juggling 3 golf balls at the same time.
He had an apple in his mouth
Did
as
he?
well.
I didn't see that with the goalie mask on and everything. I can only do so much here, but Rob Walls, a phenomenal effort. I don't know what it's going to take for California to get off the hill, if you will, over the hill, the proverbial anthill in this one. Case Western hasn't brought that much to the table. They have taken advantage of their opportunities when given some. I think it's just a matter of intellect right here, what's keeping Case Western in this game. California needs to be even more aggressive than they have been and take more shots in favorable positions rather than waiting for the perfect play.
DePauli tried the home run pass. Also in that second period, a very ugly injury to number 12, Alan Valenti of Case Western Reserve. Apparently broke his ankle. I mean, it was pretty obvious to show what happened. He took a huge hit, and the ankle bent in a way that it was not natural. He was down the ice for a while and helped off, but Case Western responded. They played a spirited game, but just too much offense for California, but still only this 1-goal lead, only 2 goals after that first period, which they dominated. And they just need to get some more on goal, and eventually Rob Walls is going to let a couple in. There's another chance the net is going hard, and the net comes dislodged as Josh Simpson drove his man into the net. That was number 10, Ben Smith, and they'll get a face-off, I believe, in the Vulcan end.
Yeah, and Ben, I'm going to ask your opinion, to be honest with you. I don't want to sound like I'm talking out of my hind end here, but isn't it noticeable the extra pep in Case Western's step in the beginning of this period, just that they've had that rest intermission here? And Case Western, had they had a bigger roster, I think this game may even be tied up. Case Western could even have a lead the way California's played in this one if they had more energy to skate with.
There's another opportunity. They need to win a face-off now and again, too. Bill Abbott will try and dump it around. Now Jamison Roth will regroup behind his net and leave it for Abbott. Abbott up the wall now. Rue, he's got Woodall cutting up the middle, waited a little too long for him. An easy back check on the play before he's bumped off the puck was Mike Stork.
Remember, there's no 2-line pass here. If you're Case Western, go for the home run here or there.
Rue waits, and then dumps it in the open cage.
Well, I don't think Walls had any clue where that one was because he was on the left side of the net, his left, and the puck went high to the right side. Walls was on his back, and he had no chance right there. Rue only had to finish it, put in the open net. Walls had no idea where it was until the puck was just about in parallel with him, heading its way towards the mesh.
Goal comes at 1:06, an early one here in the third period. Rue will get the goal. Not sure if they'll give an assist on it or not. That's his 3rd of the year. And Rue will dump it around. We saw good forechecking that time lead to a goal. Josh, you all right? As we get our shopping list for the weekend. I love CUTV.
Get me started.
Give Roth and Woodall assists on that goal. Roth now with a couple points in the night. And now here's Case Western. They fought, but 2 goals might be a little much here in the third period, Joe.
Yeah, it will be unless they can get one within the next 3 or 4 minutes right here. I don't want them to back off at all. They got started playing passive as soon as that puck went in the back of the net. Be aggressive now. You got to take more chances than ever. It doesn't matter what the goal margin is. Go for the win.
And this the physical play is definitely going to pick up, and that is very close to a hit from behind. Bond ridden in the wall by Pulaski. Now Bond's just going to hold on to his stick for a little while. And now a good two-handed hack by Bond. That should get a couple minutes.
You got to watch out. It's not going to be 4. You don't want to let Case Western right back in this game.
No, that's an icing. No penalty called on that.
Wow.
No, this is just Bond being a little upset about the hit from behind and then decides to try and break the left hand of Mike Pulaski.
He didn't hit a human. He hit an inanimate object, so he's going to get away with that. Well, you got to watch. If that goes across Pulaski's wrist, he's going to serve some times.
Well, actually, if that hits a stick, that can still be a slash, and that very easily could have been. But that should have been a hit from behind on Pulaski as well. Again, I played this game a while. I feel every right to justify criticizing the officials. Dump back in, it's going to be icing.
And I want to go back a ways here. It's going to have to be somewhere midway through the second period since Johnson's seen even a shot on his goal. I'm a little nervous to see what's going to happen the first time Case Western's able to get one on his net in this period. Might be something sloppy like we saw in that second period, enabling Case Western to get right back in this game. But the Spartans got to keep fighting. Like I said, who cares what the goal margin is? That doesn't matter in the end of the season. Wins is what matters. And if you lose because you go for a couple of home runs, so what? You got to go for it.
Johnson played his high school hockey at Sarah Catholic. Not that far from here. Now jumping in the plays, repass. Trying to go 5-hole and scores.
What a
Had
shot
him the whole way.
By repass. Yeah, he came in and just let that one rip. That one was like putting ice in a deep fryer, depending on what you like to do in your free time. Repass, let that one go. Another one of those successful freshmen out of Elizabeth, Pennsylvania. Oh, if I can talk, out of Elizabeth, Pennsylvania. Repass, like we said, the CHE Player of the Week, starting for the week of October 27th with a hat trick against Penn State Altoona, picking up where he left off on that one with that rip right here. That's one right there that I'm sure Walls would like to have back, but when a shot gets let go that perfectly, what can you do?
Goal will come at 2:35. Now 6-2, 4-goal lead for California, or offside on the play. But when you're coming down on your on wing like that, Josh, if there's nothing upstairs, you got to go down low. And the goaltender Walls just gave him way too much room there. And he snuck it 5-hole, making it now a 5-2 lead. I thought that was a bit much.
And when you see a guy ready to grip it and rip it, it could go absolutely anywhere. The 5-hole, sometimes the last place you're expecting. It's hard to keep that puck low on the ice with that kind of velocity. You think it would lift a little bit, but that one snuck underneath of him anyhow.
Unassisted goal. Warco tries to saucer one in front for Tonini, and he'll get the puck back in the slot. There's a wrister that goes off the right pad of the goaltender Walls, and now will be brought up the other way by Barbaritz. Go ahead, Jeff.
This one may be about to be broken wide open.
That one floated on net by Simpson. Now be wheeled out of there by number 10, Ben Smith, who lost the puck. Sean will help out his defenseman. Now Warco, who's played a very strong game, very impressed. Again, we don't have size or weights, but you got to think maybe 6'3", 6'4" back there and skates like a forward. DePauli dances through the wing, comes up the middle, looks to the referee, nothing called. I don't think you're going to get that call up by 3, BJ.
That was a clean takedown by number 16, Patrick Sullivan on that one. Good job of manning up his defender and just putting him down cleanly. Didn't wrap him up, just checked him.
Tonini now goes into the corner against Tochi and loses that battle, and they'll go opposite and off the skate. And it'll be chipped in by Coquinos. 16 minutes left to go. 4 minutes into the final period. Vulcans now in control, 5-2, led 2-0. Case Western came back tied at 2. Jamison Roth with a goal late in the third period, made it 3-2, and the Vulcans with a couple early here in the third. Now up 5-2.
A horrible handle there, right there by number 3, Nick Akinis. He got a stick on that one, deflected absolutely the wrong way to a California player, enabling them to set the transition game back up.
Rue, dipsy-do in the middle, throws in front, and that went off the mark from Roth, who had a wide open cage. Oh, big open ice hit by Bond. A little retribution. Kept in off the skull of Rue. He's got incredible hands. Dances up middle, wrist shot, scores.
Oh,
his second of the night. Good night.
That one is going to do it. What a shot. High blocker. You love to see that. That's the same thing like you were talking about earlier, Ben, going against the grain. The only difference here, we're talking about a right-handed shot now going towards the center of the ice, and he fires it over to the right arm of the goaltender. I don't think Walls had any shot on that one. That one picked the corner absolutely. If there was a target there, it'd have been a bullseye. Rue, like you said, just a second ago, great hands, and I think that was a perfect example of why you would say something like that on this play.
Well, you can't let a guy just walk up the middle like that. You just can't do that. And there's going to be a roughing penalty coming up against Matt Bond.
And how many times earlier did California have that space in the slot and not fire it? Now they're pulling the trigger finally, and they're getting some goals as a result.
We might have a couple coincidentals here handed out as it continues to get chipped back. Actually, the only penalty of the game is going to go against Case Western. It'll be number 13, Simpson, a 2 for roughing at 4 31.
Yeah, and as the frustration builds on either side of the ice here, especially from Case Western, so will the malevolence on both sides. These players getting a little bit angry with each other, especially when you're down by this much. It's hard when you're short man like this. You're competing against, well, what seems like an army when you only have 6 guys on your bench.
Actually, it will be coincidental penalties. Bond's going to go in the bench as well. He'll get a couple. He'll get a rough. So we'll play some 4-on-4 hockey again. Rue with a pair of goals now in the game. Again, you just can't let a guy walk right into the slot like that and let one rip. Your goalie is basically defenseless. Hill with a shot off the shoulder of Walls. Ineptitude.
Wagner face.
Moyer now sticks to the corner to repass. Who's got a goal in this game? Takes a bump, maintains possession. Into the corner now. That's Hill. Hill tries a little stick move. Not there. Cut off on the play. And then repass with another stick, and Hill will keep it low. Vulcan cycling here, 4-on-4.
And fire it back out to the point and let him rip another one.
The penalty to Bond was for hooking. Simpson will get the rough. 1:05 left on the Coincidental Miners. Sticking in now is James Lowe. He's taken off the play by Moyer. Moyer's had a strong game as a defenseman.
Yes, Moyer just sent that one right to the corner. That's what you're told to do as a defenseman. Get it out of the center of the ice where you can chase it down and get to it yourself.
His partner Tagmeyer sticks that away. Now 2-on-2 the other way with Justin Schaum. Actually, his man's going to go to the bench now. Schaum with the wrister. He tries to go 5-hole, and that's a nice 5-hole save by Walls.
Ooh.
There's a steal on the play. Batista, 5-hole save. He had Schwam wide open if he wanted him.
I don't say we criticize him for passing it the whole night, and then one time he pulls the trigger where he actually should have passed it.
Be chipped back to center red. Referee coming back. Wave it off. Thank you. Johnson will play it aside. Johnson has not had the busiest of nights. Playing really 2 real soft goals, and other than that, he's been strong. The shots have actually came his way. 10 seconds left in the Coincidentals. Back to center before it's stick down on the play by Ben Smith.
Go ahead. Show some moves, big man.
There's a nice stick move. Batista, who's come back from an injury in this game. He's got a man wide open the point, and Smith.
And Warco.
Nicely done out of the zone. The wave icing off, and there's a door open on the side by the Case Western benches. That was Jeff Barberitz, who made a nice diving play. Nice hustle play down by 4.
I didn't know there was a door over there.
Apparently there is.
Oh. They might have just made a door. Maybe there really wasn't one. Well, now we have a third access to the rink.
Well, you know, here at Blade Runners, they have nice boards, nice glass. The dash are solid here. I haven't seen any chunks in it.
Now open 24 hours.
So is the door, apparently. They're going to bring the face-off all the way into the Vulcan end. 13-12 to go. We'll take another look.
See, now open 24 hours. So is this rink. If you can sneak in the right way.
Your way, the right way.
Jeez. Have it your way.
Another face-off win to Pauly out. He's got Tonini on the right. He'll go strong. Takes a slapper way out the top of his crease to cut the angle down with Walls. And he makes, we don't have the exact numbers. Randy, what do you think, about 50 saves tonight?
How many of these pucks have been jingling around in Walls' breadbasket? Maybe the slap shots have been in the keys one. Like I said, California should have been launching them from the point. Now these long-range ones seem to be the ones that are troublesome for Walls. Well, he does great when they're up close.
Well, look at the shots he's been beat on. Other than that 5-hole goal, I don't really think you can blame him for wanting to redirect a couple bullets upstairs. A couple players hit the ice before Tonini brings it up for California. Fights off one hook. He'll dish it to the middle. Cutting through is DePauli. DePauli wrister, nice sliding save by Rob Walls. It's chipped out of the zone, back to center red. 12.5 to go in the game. Vulcans up by 4.
Oh, my goodness. What a move to get into the open space right there. Unfortunately, the defender took him off the puck.
That's Bill Abbott coming from the blue line, basically going 180 feet. And then Abbott tries to finish the check, and he's decked in the process. Tried to run the much bigger man. That was number 18, James Lowe. And now Matt Bond will go all the way back and get it. Bond up the wall. Tonini sticks it down, but out of his reach. DePauli will chase, and the Vulcans change beyond the play as Tagmeyer will go back in the zone to pick it up.
And look at these Case Western skaters. They're at about 50% right now at best. They are gasping for air out there. They've had enough.
DePauli little hop step. Rooks cuts in looking for the HT. Denied that time on the poke check by Walls. Back in front for Rue. He's got Tagmeyer wide open, cutting to the net. He goes to him. Can't corral the puck, and it goes high. Would not settle down for the defenseman. Now Rue again looking, this time goes low after his first two went upstairs.
He's going to circle again.
Brings it back to the slot, now dumps it to the point for Tagmeyer. Tagmeyer wrists the puck, looking for a redirect in front. It's there, still free, and skirts to the corner.
Rue was cutting to the back door right there, but nobody could get it behind their back to him.
Ripped up the wall. Case will look to ice it, and they'll wave it off as
Cal needs a
Tagmeyer
change.
goes back to get it. Thank you.
And there goes Captain Jameson back out onto the ice. He's been so good in this one. It's the leadership that he possesses. And I thought he was going to get a break right there. I did not see David Joyce in the corner here. He came out of nowhere to poke that one away.
Tagmeyer now will rip it around the ward, touched on by Roth. Now here comes Rue Woodall trying to get some speed to the middle.
One shift for Rue.
It has been. He was out with the other line as well. He's got Roth coming late, threw it in his feet. Roth curdles the puck and unable to get it. Cradles the puck is what I meant to say. That shot high and wide, and the mask actually off. They should have blown that dead, and Walls is telling the referee that as soon as the goalie loses his mask, you got to blow that dead.
Put him in imminent danger for no doubt, but that was a baseball catch on that one. I think we're going to get a look on the replay here. Watch the way Walls, very unorthodox manner of catching this one on the slap shot from the point. He had to reach across his body to snag it with his glove.
He
The
took it
helmet
off
comes
himself.
right there, yeah. Maybe trying to get a stoppage. Look at that. Nice snag. And he's
Safe.
out at first base.
Case continues to have trouble in the circle. Rue back post. Oh, what a save by Woodall on Woodall. Slapper, Warco blockered away.
I used to be able to move my legs like that.
Not a chance. Do I have to file papers, Josh?
No.
Saved by Johnson, diving effort going into the goal. Are you?
I told you I used to be able to do a split when I played.
Josh, I know we're friends and all, but come on. Just plutonic, son. Just plutonic.
I'm sorry, I've rendered Ben Slazik speechless for the third time in CUTV history, if I'm not mistaken. While he collects himself, I'm going to talk about Rob Wall some more in this one. Outside that one slap shot, he has done absolutely amazing this one, being shelled for, like we said, upwards of 50 shots. Yeah, hi, how's it going? Make fun of me if you want, but I did used to be able to do a split, Mr. Slazik.
So where are we going after the game, Josh?
Wherever you want. We're in South Park now.
Yeah! Wrister blocked in front off the stick of Batista.
Things have gone awry here at CUTV. I'm going to see if our camera guy Kevin wants to come call the rest of this game with me.
Goal, California! I have no idea who scored. I'm sorry. Oh, I think Batista will get the goal, and it's 7-2 California. I'm sorry. While we were laughing, all California did was dominate the forecheck and dump the puck in the empty net. Let's see it again, Josh.
Look
Good
at Walls.
save.
I mean, he's out of position on this one, and this is just, the defenders are too tired. Like, when you have a bench of 6 players, how are you going to keep somebody out there to put bodies on the Vulcan players that are open? 4 guys untouched on that one. One of them got the rebound and put it past Walls. He can make 1, 2, 3 saves for you, but once he's down on the ice flopping around, you got to pick the puck up for him and fire him out of there.
Batista's second goal of the year makes it 7-2, 9.5 to go, and the Vulcans continue to get to the front of the net and make some damage happen. Oh, repass and Hill on the assist as Matt Bond brings the axe and the smash behind the goal. That'd be demolition for you all. And he'll chip it up the wall, and now a 2-on-2 develops with repass and Batista. Offsides, Batista ahead about half a stride.
You know, while we have a minute, Ben, I wanted to take some time to talk about some of the noteworthy guys that have graduated from Case Western Reserve.
Please do.
There has been a host of them. You are aware of the one, Don Shula, the famous Miami Dolphins coach, Ray Mack, an all-star second baseman in the 1940s in the MLB. Barry Meyer, the current CEO of Warner Brothers. And we're talking about Know Your Foe here, Case Western. We know I'm familiar with that place. But some off-target ones. Alfredo Palacio, an interim president of Ecuador, went to Case Western Reserve. Milton Schaff, the governor of PA in 1976. 2 presidents, James A. Garfield and Rutherford V.
I
Hayes,
knew
served
that.
on the Board
I knew
of Trustees, and my favorite one, Franklin Cover, who played on the Jeffersons, if you remember that show.
Yes, I watched
people.
it in First Run, which dates me a
I
little
can't
bit.
believe that Case Western is represented in Ecuador. I think that's definitely Palacio takes the cake.
Como está? Into the wing goes Mike Stork. Took a hat. There's going to be a slash coming up here on Moyer. As he put actually a high stick will be the call.
Awry isn't even the word to use anymore. This one is long gone.
This will be the 3rd power play of the game coming up for Case Western. And again, while we've been joking the last, I'd say 3 or 4 minutes, California continues to throw the onslaught. Rue has a couple goals. Warco's a couple points.
In our defense, this was planned. We knew we'd be able to have some fun in this 3rd period. California honestly should have had a bigger lead than this by this time. While we're in a timeout, 7-2 lead. I expect this to be a score maybe after your 2nd period. I thought California was getting to double digits on this one. We'll have to see if that does happen. They certainly have plenty of time to do that.
And Walls has been the difference, without a doubt, for Case Western again.
We'll take another minute here. We got another advertisement here from the Blade Runners Ice Complex. Their winter 06-07 events. Let's see, we got some interesting stuff on here. You got pickup hockey. That can be played Monday to Fridays, 9:30, 11:30 a.m., 12:30 to 2:30, and Friday nights, 9:10 to 10:30. Some figure ice skating every day from 2:30 to 5:50, Monday through Thursday.
Can practice those splits.
Some learn. Let's not go there again. You and me. No, we can't get started on this again. Public skating sessions, Monday night, family night, $1 off admission. Tuesdays, 12:30 to 2:20. That rate straight through Friday, and on Saturday, 1 to 3:20 and 8 to 10 p.m. for open skating here at the Blade Runners Ice Complex for the winter of 06-07. You can see all that information on www.bladerunnersice.com right here in Bethel Park.
And you saw some of the schedule for California. You can check out the rest of the schedule as well as anything related to California hockey or any of the athletics at www.calvulcans.com. 8:48 to go. Here in the 3rd period, 7-2 Vulcans lead. Moyer getting a 2, and now a player being helped off the ice for California. He actually has a skate, his sock, and his shin guard off. Didn't see the injury.
No, is that Batista again?
That's what I was
Maybe
thinking.
He re-aggravated something. It's a 1, and what's the other number on there?
Looks like it's 12. That's Bill Abbott, freshman out of Exton. Should. So the Vulcans will be 1 light on the blue line.
And evidently Batista has recovered from his injury earlier, so California only a man down at this point.
And BJ picks the pocket. Oh, what a glove save by Walls. And there's going to be a delayed penalty coming up. The linesman can call penalties here.
What a great save by Walls on that one. DePauli made, I think, the best move he could have made there. He had a defender on his backside that would have cut him off if he had chosen to go to his left and go on the stick side of Walls, so he's forced to go glove side. I think Walls read that and knew that he was going to have to be ready to flash some leather.
Barbaritz is going to pick up a 2 for tripping. It was way back, but look at the little hop move by DePauli.
And that's what I explained right here. If he had cut back to his left, and the defender had been all over him. But DePauli was aware of that, but so was Walls. He was ready to put that glove in the air.
You know, watching DePauli play, I've actually seen him play a lot. I think I played a couple games with him, but way back when. But he likes going to that backhand move, drag it across and going up the ladder on the backhand. That's a move he does a lot. And I remember even going back to that Colorado game a couple years ago, scored on a penalty shot or a breakaway that way. We're going to play some 4-on-4 hockey. The Vulcans are going to end up with about a 10-second power play.
Case Western doing anything they can now just to not let this one get out of hand any more than it has.
Warco all the way up the ice, stops, leaves it for DePauli. DePauli tries to bring it back to his forehand. Not there, throws it right in front, trying to shovel it in that time. Referee's going to blow it dead. He lost sight of the puck.
Yeah, and I don't know if Warco intended to make that drop pass right there. I think he just lost control of it, and DePauli picked it up and skated to the net with it.
Warco, big body, a freshman out of Washington, Pennsylvania.
Guys
very
from
impressive.
On this team too.
Well, again, in the Mon Valley, there's not a whole lot of places with hockey. Ringgold, Cannon Mac. Cannon Mac, very, very successful program over the last couple of years. And just up the road, Washington Jefferson with their head coach Peter Taglianetti, a name from the past, former Penguin. They've had a pretty good program as well. Big hit on the wall, repass, finishes his man. This will be flipped back. They're going to wave off ice.
To get it in the air and over the heads of those California defenders. They're tall back there, and they'll be able to knock some of those down with their gloves. And if Case Western doesn't get it up and over them, they got to do whatever they can to get it out.
Well, if you look, California does a nice job. You got a player like Bond, who's a big guy, 6'4", 6'5", back there with Tagmeyer, smaller, quicker guy. And then you got Warco. He's been out there with Abbott, a smaller guy.
Rumbling, bumbling. Look at this guy go.
That's Josh Simpson, 13. But again, anytime Case gets anything going, 1-on-3, 1-on-4, it just ain't going to work. And then repass just makes a couple guys look silly. Fake a shot, leave it. That's Tagmeyer joining the play. Wrist shot in front, scores.
That goal doesn't happen without that beautiful pass made right there. Tagmeyer only had to finish the job. He had tons of space to work with. Walls has his helmet off now. I think he has a little bit of an equipment issue, but you're not going to blame that on this. This is all a result of an excellent drop pass right there by Bill Repass, and Tagmeyer merely had to finish what was already a done deed.
Tagmeyer's first goal of the year.
Walls out of position right there. I don't know if he saw the drop pass, and I think that's why he was fooling with his helmet. I think it might have gotten in front of him. I think his chin strap came a little bit loose, and the helmet started wobbling around on his head.
Tagmeyer, a sophomore out of Carrick High School in Pittsburgh. Now Rick Young, 24, on the ice for, I believe, the first time tonight. Perhaps filling the spot left by Bill Abbott, number 12, who left with a apparent ankle injury.
He's one of only 3 seniors on this team.
Young from Jefferson Hills, played at a little school called Thomas Jefferson. They have a fair football program. Now Ryan Woodall up the middle. Woodall turns it over. Backhand tries to shovel it on the far post and misses. 6.5 to go.
In this one, a grinder like himself, you'd think he'd be getting involved in some of the chippiness that we've had.
Orko takes a tumble. Woodall's a big boy.
Oh, yeah. Seen him in street clothes. He's intimidating.
There's a chance 2-on-1 if they hurry, and here's a break. Backhand, big save. That go in? No, it's right to his right, and the referee blows it as the net comes off the Mornings. That was number 11, Mike Stork, with a chance, and Johnson had to make his toughest play of the night.
Yeah.
Here's a good look.
That is a very good camera angle right there. Johnson right there, he was off balance too. Again, anytime you see that goalie going run between their legs, you think it's behind them, but Johnson, somehow that one bounced off him. I think it hit a pad and he didn't feel it. Certainly that the area of a goaltender with the least amount of feeling, as big as they are, and that one bounced to the corner, and the referees giving him a little bit of help there and blowing that one.
That was Rob McCarney on camera 3. We want to make sure we thank our other cameramen, Kevin Wagner on camera 1 and Matt Corona on camera 2. Bond and Repass get the assists on the Tagmeyer goal. Just under 6 minutes now to play. And the Vulcans will set up. And look like Case Western's ready to get back on the road to Cleveland here, Joe.
It's a 3-hour drive. I wouldn't want to.
Oh, and that shot after the whistle. And McCarney is going to have to check his drawers.
Like I said, a rocket shot like that, it's like throwing ice in the deep fryer. That one's going to leave a mark either way you look at it. What a rip by Pulaski. He hasn't shot nearly as much as he should have in this one. He simply hasn't had the space. Great toe drag on that one. You love to see the slap shot followed through with a motion like that.
You know, I'm just going to throw this out there. Pulaski knew it was offside. I wonder if he saw Rob sitting back there and just decided to throw one. Chippiness continues. A couple hits at the blue line. Now running his man to the wall was Ben Smith, number 10.
And so this is when Woodall comes into play, when he gets a little bit aggressive like this. He loves to come out here and scrap.
And the bigger guys, too. And for that matter, anybody for California can throw a hit. Hits a couple bodies in front, now behind the net, trying to wrap around. That time is Case. Penalty coming up. Puck in, score. Stork's going to get the goal.
I think it's going to wipe the penalty, too.
Yeah, it will. Are they going to count the goal? The net did come off.
There you go.
The referees are going to talk.
The net is off. You can see it's clearly the red post behind the red line. Johnson pleading his case with the referee. We're going to take another look at it right here.
They're going to call it a goal.
I'll show you where it's dislodged, and it is off right there as a Cal defender plows into Tim Johnson.
Well, if the Cal defender takes it out, they can call it a goal as long as it's not that far off, and they are going to give him a goal. Stork will get credit. That's his 6th of the year.
Why not? I don't think it's going to be the deciding factor in this one.
Second leading scorer on this team, came in with 16 points. Now an 8-3 game. Under 5 minutes to play as Bond gains center red and throws it on goal. Yes. California will regroup. Tagmeyer back on the blue line with Bond. Go and play with Andy Jarrett up front. Number 23, Blatney, and number 18, Bob Heil.
Tagmeyer almost misplayed that one back in his own defensive zone, and California has done that a few times in this game. Not their prettiest game. They've been a bit sloppy in this one, and Case Western just doesn't have the speed, not really the up and all, to get on some of these loose pucks that California has mishandled. They're just not quick enough, and quite frankly, they're too tired.
8-3 the score. Pick me a player of the game, Josh.
Oh, yeah, this one I'm going to have to go with Rue, the way he's been all over the ice. He's been phenomenal for California. Dustin Rue getting to the open pucks, and like we said, 2 goals in this one. Some of those lucky bounces are just a matter of him breathing out the puck and finding it. Like we said, that gifted ability for scores to get to the ice.
It's at least 3 points for Rue, too. I know he got a 4-point night for Rue. Warco's got 3 at least. As we get our statistician, Randy Page, class of 97.
Warco, yeah. Maybe I didn't call his name on that one, but he'll be the player of the game in years to come here. The moves like that as a defenseman. Not Matt Rue. No, I'm saying I'm talking about Matt Warco, not Dustin Rue. Great defenseman here.
Oh, big shot by Stork and a better save by Johnson. He's come up with a couple big saves late. Maybe inconsequential, but.
And California's deep at the goaltender position.
Yeah.
Over the years, they've flip-flopped a couple of guys in and out of the lineup, but overall, they've been fairly solid.
Last year, I had a friend of mine who played on the CHA team here, and he told me they were about 9 goalies deep between the 2 teams. And between 9 goalies and 2 teams, you're going to find a couple stand-up guys. And Johnson, big goaltender back there. He's played well. The 2 soft goals, again, one you can't really blame him, and the other 2, somebody was on top of him. So he's played pretty well back there.
Yeah, he hasn't faced a lot of shots. I'd say he's under 20, whereas his opposition is probably up
71.
Real close to 50.
3.5 to play. Told you. Jamison Roth to the mill, tries to go 5-hole, sticked away. Sorry I've been screwing up your name, Jamison, all game long. Rick Young now, he's hooked. Nothing called, not in an 8-3 game. Now that one will get called as one of the California players is upended in the far corner.
We'll see if we can have an angle on that one. The glass might be real, interfere with this one a lot, but we'll see if we can pick out what happened for you. And that's not the one. That might be the one they called right on the boards right there. Yeah, when you serve a guy up head first into the wood, you're going to sit down. And Case Western, like we said, slow and frustrated at this point. Matter of fact, they're getting
it's going to be a
Woodall for the penalty.
Yeah,
what are they calling?
An interference penalty against Ryan Woodall. 16:56.
Well, you saw the replay. That was a California player being taken down by a Case Western player.
Josh,
don't ask me where that one came from.
Josh, I'm a simple man. I've played this game for a long time. There's one thing I always know, that the players, the fans, and the announcers definitely see the game different than the referees do. Rick Young will just serve it back up, killing this penalty. He's out there with Warco, number 13, Justin Schaum, and B.J. DePauli, number 11.
It's not going to matter, but it's a point of principle here.
Case Western 0 for 4 on the power play today. Pulaski, we've hyped him up. He's done nothing. Drops off wrist shot and a save made.
California just hanging back in that small box right now, letting Case Western have their party.
Well, there's a good pass set up for a redirect from low. Goes off his stick and high into the netting. It'll be a face-off. Should be a face-off outside the zone.
Why not give Tim Johnson a little bit of a workout to end this one? No need to give up your chances. Case Western can just fire away here in these last 2 minutes, and California has no reason to try to generate an odd man rush on the penalty kill.
How appropriate REM's end of the world playing is the final 2:22 on the clock. We also want to make sure we thank the rest of our crew, our graphics operators, Casey McAlery and Andrea Cutter, our replay person, Mark Stempka, and our director, Gary Smith.
And though the end of the world was playing, we know just as well as anyone else that the end of the world isn't at least until tomorrow evening
yeah.
after we take care of a little bit of a football game at Cal U.
There's a game tomorrow?
I think I heard something.
Good save there off Stork. We have a paper?
Yeah, we do.
Puck still free, and it'll be flipped nicely out of the zone by Jeremy Hill, who started this whole nonsense with a goal in the first period. freshmen look impressive out there. You had DePauli with a goal. Jamison Roth had a goal, but a lot of the action done by the freshmen and newcomers, Josh.
Like I said, more than half of the roster, 13 out of 25 guys, and that's not even including the goaltenders. 3 of them are freshmen. So California's got a great squad of young talent here for years to come. I mean, they lost a lot of guys last year. I mean, I picked up this roster this year and I was like, I recognized 4 or 5 of these names. You got guys playing increased roles here. You got new guys stepping into leadership roles. And you've got some young guys coming here like Repass, Warco, Tanini, Batista, all these guys coming in here, and they've been very effective tonight. Matter of fact, they've been the stars of this game. It is not Roth. It is not DePauli. It is not Woodall dominating tonight. It is the freshmen on this California roster. I look forward to coming back and doing a few more games here this year to see how they develop as the season progresses.
Well, any team will tell you need at least 2 lines to be effective and at least 4 defensemen. They got that. They have 2 strong lines, including maybe even a third. Final minute, 15 to go, 75 seconds left, 10 seconds left in the man advantage. As Case just trying to get something going, as Bond jostling behind the net with somebody, and he's bumped into from behind, and they're going to send them both off.
Yeah, there was bodies on the ice and sticks in the air. Now the player has his helmet off, and he is frustrated. That is Josh Simpson, the big guy. He's going to sit down.
That should be 2 more.
It should. That's no way to act here.
Yeah, they just got the 10.
I mean, they're barking at the officials, but this late in the game, why are you going to argue with something like that? I guess you want to plead your case, and like I said, it all comes out of frustration. He was hacked to pieces there. California should have at least had the 1 call, and I think that's 2 in a row missed call by the officials, and they sent Ryan Woodall off on the last one undeservingly, and now this player's going to be ejected because the referees didn't really see what happened.
Yeah, they gave him the 10-minute misconduct with 1:05 left. They'll take him out of there. Simpson's been in the box a couple times tonight.
He looks like a grinder. His size, and he is not very fast. He's out there to enforce, and he's still mouthing off. No, he shouldn't be, but he has a good reason.
Yeah. Well, we have a second. Maybe throw up that California schedule one last time so you can see what's going on in California hockey. Remember, www.calvulcans.com for all your sports information. And there's the upcoming schedule, November 18th. Fairfield, that's Connecticut, if I'm not mistaken. Hofstra, Old Dominion, and Robert Morris. We're touring the old Atlantic Coast and Colonial Conference, I believe.
My aunt went to dental school in Old Dominion.
That's in Virginia.
Formerly an all-female university. Now they have a male team and they have a hockey program. Look at that, Old Dominion. Matter of fact, I think they have a decent men's basketball team now to complement their women's program.
The ODU's been a strong team for a while. There's 2 seconds left in the penalty to Woodall. 1:05 left in the game. This always happens here.
They're trying to sort something out. They got 2 California players in the box. We got 1 guy serving for Case Western on the right side here. I think we're going to have potentially a 4-on-3.
Yeah, it'll be a 4-on-3 until Woodall comes out. Well, in an 8-3 game, you're going to get chippy. Okay. Well, Coach Berger's talking to the referee, who's and you know, you have to admire this. He's still coaching despite 8-3.
And now they're sending another guy over the bench. The coaching staff still trying to reason with the officials, and I'm not sure what Coach Berger. I mean, like I said, maybe it is a matter of principle, but an 8-3, why not play this thing out and just let it end? I mean, any more of this build-up, and you're just going to let the players get angry and angry.
Exactly.
Just let them finish this off.
It's poor management, poor officiating.
These guys are, I mean, they're not getting paid very much to do this. They want to go home just as much as the next. I don't know why they're taking such opposition here to what Coach Berger is saying. For that matter, why Coach Berger is taking that much opposition to what the officials are saying.
Okay, I see what they're doing. They're just going to make it 4-on-4, and when Woodall comes out, it's going to be 5-on-4. For the final man 5, gentlemen, please just gain red and dump. Let's drop the puck. I want to thank you for joining us here in Vulcan Hockey on CUTV. Case ends short. I want to thank Josh for doing his first hockey game. It's been a pleasure, and all of you for tuning in.
Again, nothing more to say than thanks for allowing me to do this with you guys here. This school and this TV station to present me an excellent opportunity to further my future career dreams.
Lord knows, hockey and me, you know, this is what I've done for a long time. Give me a countdown if you can. 46 seconds left. Okay. Rick Young will keep it in. 30 seconds to go. The puck's still in now. Getting for the puck is Jarrett. Chips in. Player upended for California. 27 seconds left. Wrist shot. Knocked away. And it goes in.
Wow.
Rick Young's going to get the goal. 9-3.
And Walls let that one in. I don't think he saw that one either. Again, maybe only 2 or 3 goals in this game were actually his fault. His defender's not helping him very much out there, clearing out the California traffic. Someone put a stick on his pads right there, and I think they blocked him with their body, so he didn't see it go underneath of him, and that's going to make this one insult to injury. Tripled up now as Case Western Reserve. The Vulcans have poured it on in the third period, and I think it's all an issue of fatigue, and then for that matter, roster size to trace it back one step farther.
22 seconds left. They'll drop the puck. That fourth line out for California, Jarrett, Heil, and Blakeney. And Warco will skate back. We will be doing a couple other hockey games, so stay tuned to Vulcan's website. Let you know when we're going to be covering more Vulcan hockey. Blakeney actually gets the goal from Heil. 5 seconds left, and that will do it. California will win this game 9-3 behind some solid offense and some pretty good hitting as well. For all of us here at CUTV, for Josh Eaches, my name's Ben Slazak. Good night, God bless. We'll see you next time right here on CUTV. Good night, everybody.